Welcome everybody to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show that is for Panther fans by Panther fans. If you would like to join the show today and be a part of the discussion via Streamyard, I have pinned the link in the YouTube comment section. It is also in the description down below the YouTube video. We appreciate everybody for being here, man. We know that Panther Nation is at their wits' end right now, man. So much losing, so much depression and despair based on these Carolina Panthers continuing to look atrocious, coming off of an abysmal 13-16 loss to the Chicago Bears just last night on Thursday Night Football. Man, we have so much to talk about today, so much to work through. Listen, you know that C3 is your favorite therapy session. That is what we are here for. And as always, you know that I am joined by some of my C3 Panther Nation favorites, and we're going to break it down here today along with everybody joining the show. First up, my man, Panther Pickle. Pickle, if you tell anybody to shut the hell up today, please let it be Frank Reich. Please, oh, please, oh, please.
Panther fans, you know you want to do it. Don't hold back, man. Let it out. As loud as you can. Go to the window of the door as loud as you possibly can. Frank Reich, David Tepper, shut the hell up. Just say it. Make you feel better. Make you feel better. Now, it make me feel better. My wife I come over and whip my ass right in front of everybody. But anyway, hopefully if this happens, I'll click the camera so you don't have to see the blood in the gut.
I don't want to see that shit, Pickle.
But shut up.
I don't want to see it.
Shut the hell up.
Oh, boy, it's already
Frank
a fun
Reich
one,
wannabe. And I confess, y'all, it was me that sold Thomas Brown the 2021 playbook off Madden. It was me. I did it. I looked
Damn,
at
that was messed up of you, man. Come on,
I got a
man.
whole $50 for it, and I donated it to C3. So it's technically their fault.
I appreciate you. And
I even
accept the blame. I even accept the blame. Hey, man, next up, I'm going to go to the brand ambassador. My man, my homie, Don D's Ill Skills. D's, what's up, brother?
There we go. I got to admit, when I got up this morning, I felt a lot like Tony did last night when he got on the stream. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." And I was thinking that when I got up this morning, I'm like, I might have to take a free for all off. There's no way I can go in here and talk about these Panthers. We talked about them for 2 hours on Spaces yesterday. We broke down what I've done to watch the football game, and all the bad things that we brought up happened and came to life. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Then I thought about Panther Pickle. I said, well, at least I can get on the free for all and listen to Panther Pickle and tell somebody to shut the hell up, and maybe even tell somebody to go to CarolinaChronicles.com and buy that T-shirt. And then they can tell David Tepper and the rest of the Panthers to shut the hell up because they don't know what they're doing. Glad to be here, and glad to be here with all these awesome Panther fans in the chat. That's one of the reasons why I showed up tonight, man. You guys are great. I love reading your comments throughout the show. And, of course, the panel and the guys that are coming in later. Can't wait to see all of y'all.
Yeah, boy. Man, I appreciate you being here. Listen, we always find a way to talk about Carolina Panthers, even when nobody wants to. Even when everybody feels like there's not enough energy in our bodies to talk about this subpar football team right now, we find a way to do it for C3 Panther Nation. So I appreciate you, bro. Next up, I'm going to go to my man, Alex, A14 Panthers, who was in the building early today. Alex, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on? Happy Friday, Panther fans. Happy Friday to all you guys. I'll be there in spirit. You guys march your asses off on Mint Street and do what you got to do. Whatever we got to do to, let us be heard with our voices. And I'm sure Tepper knows. I'm sure the upper management knows. Like they got a real hot seat over there. So march your asses off on Sunday, and I'll be there in spirit. So yeah, there we go.
I hear you, man. Listen, there's a protest that is brewing right next to me on South Mint Street. And we're going to talk about that very soon. I got a lot of questions, and I know y'all have a lot of feelings. and we're gonna talk about it, man. Next up, it's my boy Jake the Snake FU2. Jake, what's up, brother? Happy to have you back, man.
What's up, y'all? Ready to get on this shit? God help us on Mint Street. David Tepper ain't gonna give a fuck about nothing.
Probably not, man. I don't know if I would either if I was a multi-billionaire like David Tepper. Next up, my man, my homie, the boy, White Chocolate Espresso. Okay, what up, dude?
What up?
What up?
What up?
What
Fuck
up?
the game.
Yeah,
What
fuck
the
the
hell?
Gamecocks.
I mean,
What?
fuck everything, Carolina. At this point,
True, right? Hey, no one's fighting you on that, dude. That's 100, man. I appreciate having you here, man. I know you'll find some way to make some type of joke about my fantasy team before the end of the show. So I brought it up for you.
I
Hey,
wasn't
man,
going to,
I appreciate that trade this week, man. I appreciate that.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Hey, I exist to help build up other people's fantasy teams. So.
It wasn't until after the trade, that I realized the dude was on a bye week this week. So, yeah.
Well, most of it will be good for you going forward. But next up, my man, also from Charlotte. I know he's thinking about going this Sunday to the March on Mint. It's the homeboy, Anthony Pick. Anthony, what's up, bro?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Anthony,
am.
what's your
going,
real
Cody, and I will.
name?
What?
Buried my cock in there.
Oh yeah,
Yes, you're a menace.
Go by Miranda at this point, but yeah, I will be going to that, Cody. I'll convince you to pick your ass up, and we're gonna stroll down there and show David Tepper what this is all about. But in all seriousness, I'm happy to be here, and the Panthers got me looking rough, man. I was talking about how Frank Reich looks like Billy Bob Thornton. Well, I'm starting to turn into him myself at this point, man. But I'm happy to be here. So.
Actually,
Yeah, man.
You need to get your
Ain't
hair.
wrong.
You need to dye your hair like it all standing up like it did in that picture earlier. You need to dye that light blue, man. That's blue.
Well, hey, man, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Without further ado, gentlemen, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's roll. If you are not on Twitter, which if you are not, man, I'm happy for you, man. You must
nobody's
live a
on
much
Twitter
You're
anymore.
much more. Yeah, it's on X, whatever. But if you're not on the platform, then you're probably living a lot more peaceful than everyone else. But
And we know you don't like that. Get on it and enjoy the misery that we enjoy.
yeah, 100%. Be a part of the miserable Panther fandom that is known as Panthers Twitter. But listen, man, our guys over at PNP, Rashad and Dave, they have orchestrated a march on Mint Street happening this Sunday at noon at Bank of America Stadium, Mint Street East Gate. Now, y'all know I have love and respect for Rashad and PNP. I love them and what they do. Check them out. They're great. I love the success they're having. My question to you all and to everyone in the chat room is, what is the means to an end with this? Why are we marching? Why are people going to Bank of America Stadium to march? Now, obviously, we know it'd be a big time PR thing, man. There'll be a lot of cameras, a lot of news, a lot of pressure on the organization. But my question is, to do what? What are we asking to do? Are we going down there for a few hours to shout, keep pounding, and have some cameras on us? What do we want to accomplish? Is it to fire Fitterer? Is it to fire Frank Reich? Are you trying to convince David Tepper to sell the team because the Panther fans demand too much success that he is not able to supply? What are we doing here? What do we feel the meaning of this actually is? And overall, what will we actually be able to accomplish as Panther fans by doing this?
We'll accomplish making ourselves feel good.
Nothing.
Yeah,
So,
that to me, that's a lot to
basically-
do with it. But at the same time, I mean, if I don't know, I really don't know that they're going to be chanting. If to me, if they show up and all they're going to do is chant, keep pounding, I think it's going to be a waste. But at the
Well,
same
it's not
time,
gonna be keep pounding. No, it's not gonna be keep pounding.
no.
So then, what
I-
is it?
it's
So
not-
then,
it's a lot-
Jake. So then,
I-
Jake. What is it? What would you say this is?
It's
What
gotta be- they're
would you
calling
hope to
For
accomplish?
jobs. Call for jobs. I legit think they're calling
you're
for
trying to-
Scott Fitterer or Frank Reich. I think
Yeah.
Scott Fitterer is more than Frank Reich, in my opinion. Names, I mean, they should be called for both names. Because I mean, in my
Hey,
opinion,
Jake, you might need to exit out and come back in. You're starting to break up, brother.
Yeah,
like-
I know. what he
Yeah,
was
I
saying,
know,
though.
man. I hate it for you. It's cutting out
Yeah,
like
man.
every other
You,
word.
you'll be all
all
right.
right, I'm gonna try
Third
to get.
time's the charm, brother.
Yeah,
Third
we'll get
time's
it
the
right.
charm.
Come back out and come in. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
I know Jake. I think Jake was trying to voice that trying to call for names, kind of force some sort of change because of the just the play and the situation in Carolina, where we've been 5 or 6 years or 8 years or whatever, we've been trash. We've waited for Tepper to make right decision. It's not happening. We were promised a lot of things at the beginning of this year. It's not happening. We were told things were going to be great. It's not happening. And I know this is football and you can't always predict these things, but you shouldn't lie either. I mean, let's just be real about it. If you've been on any type of sports website, TV show, news media today, you've heard how much of a joke the Carolina Panther offense is.
Yeah,
ESPN
not
made
wrong.
fun of it. NFL Network talked about it. The NFL XM Radio talked about it. It is a laughing stock. I'm talking about major players in the NFL that on a regular basis say something. Balding or a lot of folks know him. He loves to do player evaluation or talks about the schemes and stuff on Twitter, and he's real good. He asked everybody. He says, "Somebody explain what this Panther offense is," and nobody knows. Today on XM Radio, Rich Gannon, Alex Smith, and
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. I got stuck there. Thanks, Cody. Kurt Warner all were arguing over not arguing, but having a discussion that the Panthers' offense is a disaster. They can't run. They say they want to run, but they don't run.
Right.
The offensive line is a mess. The wide receivers are
Terrible.
running
Oh,
bad
the
rights, or
problems-
no rights or ill rights.
Listen.
And Bryce Young is scared to death to throw the football. I mean, and they love Bryce. They
And
want
he
him
don't
to
go
be
through his
great,
progression.
But
He don't go through his progression either,
that's
though.
the point. He don't go through his progressions because, in their opinion, he can't. I mean, right now, Bryce is
Yeah.
scarred. What people, a lot of fans
Yeah, he
that
is.
even love Bryce don't want to talk about. Bryce has to look to his A gap or look to his first read and look at the offensive line. Look to the second and look at the offensive line, and then run. And
Yeah.
if he does have time in
So-
the pocket, he tries to get rid of the ball so fast. A lot of times the receivers ain't finished their routes to.
Yeah.
I got a
So,
question about this, Cody, though. Like,
yeah, I do too. I'm gonna go to you next. Let me real quick shout out RC Graveyard with the $10.
Yep.
He says,
Hell
I forgot
yeah.
my message. He said, we are the capital of suck. Bryce cannot elevate the team. We will never have the pieces for him. I am done with him. Still hope it works out. All right, so a little bit of optimism at the very end. Kev, what's your
At the very least.
Yeah,
I was
Kev,
gonna
what's your
say,
question
like-
about this March.
does it actually help us? Because if you're a free agent coming in next year, you're looking at the fans protesting outside the stadium. You're like, why would I want to come there?
Yeah, that like my
If they get double the
my-
pay, though.
My
But-
biggest question in terms of this march is again, right? So in the real world, if you're marching, normally it's for some type of injustice or some sort of inequality that's being pushed on you. But my thing is like normally there is a goal, there is an outcome. Either you're marching for a right to do something, or you're marching to raise awareness about a particular issue, or to see something to be achieved. My question is, in order for this thing to be a success, what has to happen? Does someone need to
They're
be
calling for
fired?
jobs.
Do
Yeah.
we as fans need to be on cameras on news stations all around the country? Like, what is it that we need to see from this in order it to be labeled a success?
I
Because
just want
right now I'm not sure
I
what
hear-
that is. Go
I
ahead.
just want to ask David Tepper how the fuck you can a Bud Light is more expensive than a freaking ticket. That should that
That right there, you should be doing. Yes, protest. For that
But
shit.
hey, by the way, real quick to Cheryl Lynn Rosenberg, if you would like to join the show and be a part of the discussion, we would love to have you. The link is in the chat room. When you say marching for change, I understand you and I hear you completely. My question is, what type of change are we marching for?
Job
Do we
change.
prepare? I mean, are we expecting that the actual Panther football team
What
is going
type
to
of
play
change
better?
are we marching?
Hold up, Al. Fuck, you're messing me up. Damn, Al, you have to put your headphones on, bro. But no, what do we expect to come of this? Right? Is it someone being fired? Is it the team playing
Yeah.
better? Do you want David Tepper to sell the football team? Like, I want to know,
That never gonna happen.
as Panther fans that are looking to participate, what
It's
are you
simple.
hoping to accomplish with
I-
this? Go
I
ahead.
think they're
Ant.
hoping for
Hold
jobs
on,
to be
hold on.
fired.
Let me hear from Ant real quick. Ant, what do you think about this?
we just want them to feel embarrassed. We want David Tepper to understand what he's done for the past 5 seasons has clearly not been working, and show to him that we've been Panthers fans longer than he's owned this team, and he's been calling us basement Twitter, all of this. Well, it seems like quote unquote
Basement dwellers.
basement Twitter gets more things right about this organization than he does. And it's just like, man, I know like he's not going to sell the team, but this should at least try to push him to maybe reevaluate himself and look in the mirror. Because even though these coaches have been bad, Scott Fitter's been bad, he's had his hand in every single cookie jar. And maybe that will tell him, like, hey, maybe I need to stay out of this because these fans care about the team, and it seems like we care about the team more than he actually does himself. Like, he's not going to sell the team, obviously, but there's so much going around. Like I mentioned, like beer's more expensive than a ticket. You know,
Yeah.
we've got opposing
He don't give a
fans
fuck.
filling up our stadiums. Like next week, it's going to be 80% Cowboy fans. I already know.
It'll
Like
be more than that. 90%. 90% Cowboys fan.
it's bad. And like, here's the thing. I will say this. I mean, I think Frank Reich is going to take the fall. Frank and Scott are going to take the fall for him. Like, they haven't been necessarily good or anything, but obviously the main problem is David Tepper, and this is the only way we can get some sort of message across.
You get the message across by not going to the games and
Yeah,
getting and walking off.
I think I agree with that. Go ahead, Alex.
I agree with that too.
My thing is like, I know we expected a little bit more this season than we did like last season, but I just on my end, I just didn't know what to expect. It's a first year rookie quarterback. It's our first year head coach, and they're coming in with like a lot of pieces that it wasn't Frank Reich's pieces. These were like, a lot of it was Matt Rule's pieces. So we're kind of a lot of interchanging parts. I didn't see how this could be even a successful year. So to me, I know the front office, that's what's frustrating. The front office kind of led us to believe that it's going to be a good team. We just had to add a
quarterback away. Quarterback away. Yep. That's what we thought over and over again.
Really though, like if you think deep down, like, did you really think like one quarterback in his rookie year was going to take us all the way to? I don't know. I had a hard time.
That's what we were sold on. That's what we were sold on.
We were sold on a winning season, I think.
Yeah. At the very least.
Hold on. Yo, Al the Sailor, if you can hear me, bro, you got to put something in your ears because the feedback is crucial, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mute tip terrible.
If I may say, I know that you've been on here before, and you're very reasonable. You're very understanding, because you come on Twitter Spaces too, I believe, and of what you expect is starting off with, and you were probably one of the most reasonable guys to understand that. A lot of folks weren't. A lot of folks fed into the narrative that Scott Fitterer pushed. They just did, myself included. But and a lot of us are grown up, know we should have did it, but we did it anyways because we're starving for wins, starving for something. And to push back just a little bit on you affect it by not buying the merchandise and walking out and not buying tickets. And I understand that, but folks, the last time we had a winning season was 2017. We did all the walking out. We did all the not buying merchandise. Has that helped any? I
Nope.
mean, it was
Right.
still miserably. And I listen. I said today on X what I would do, and I said I would fire it. If you on there, you know that. If those you ain't, I'll quickly repeat it. If I'm David Tepper today, I would be firing Scott Fitterer and Dan Morgan. Why Dan Morgan? Well, because he's kind of Fitterer's right hand man, and I'm done with all that shit.
I
Adrian
hear
Wilson
that.
is on staff as a pro personnel, so he would take over as GM.
All right.
As interim GM, I would fire both Frank Wright and Thomas Brown because of the same thing. They designed the playbook. It's a wreck. They're both gone. Now, all that being said, and I mean that, and I would bench Bryce, but a lot of it has to do with ineffective offense, and some of it has to do with Bryce's health, mental health, and physical health movement, or especially mental health moving forward. Now, all that being said, let's be realistic of something. A lot of people are talking about firing, and nobody wants to answer the question or evaluate this. If you fire Frank Wright, who do you realistically see taking over? 99% of the folks that you're talking about taking over as an offensive court, as a head coach, want their own staff. They run their choice of quarterback. They don't want to walk in with somebody else's choice of quarterback.
Right, and that's the point that I've been trying to make, Pickle, is that if you do commit to this process, now you're doing this thing where everyone is having to start all over. Bryce
Right.
Young is having to start all over. It's a recipe for disaster, in my own opinion. Hang on, I wanted to highlight this comment from Riz B. It says, "You know, gotta stop crying over the first round pick we gave the Bears. Just remember, we have an early second round pick to get excited about. Oh, joy. Bro, Riz, I'm just saying that for the type of season that we have, Panther fans are wanting more than that second round pick to be able to reload
Tell 'em,
on,
Cody.
bro.
Well, I mean, in reality, no offense, Cody, but I'm kind of agree with her. And if you know what, if you want something more to excited about next time, don't be so eager to trade that first round pick for something that's imaginary better. I mean,
Yep.
Kevin, a lot of you might know this. We've been down this road where you trade a first round pick for something that was supposedly better, and then next year you complain because you ain't got first round picks. That happens quite a bit in the Carolina Panther life. So don't be so eager to scream trade that first round pick next year for something this year when next year comes you want it back, because this year this ain't Walmart. You can't always ask for that refund.
100%. Hold up.
Shit.
Ow, you're really
Tell 'em,
fucking
Pickle.
me up, bro.
Echo.
Sorry, man. You need to put the audio to come through to your earbuds, man. You're killing me. Man, I'm trying to get Al on, but he is out there struggling. Man. But hold on. All right, so hold on.
Yeah,
Let me. I wanted to pinpoint one more thing. I saw. Hold on. Let me make sure I can find it. Somebody was saying how if you. Yeah, here it is. From Selsky, he says it's not again. I'm not against the march on men to get hurt, but the fastest and most effective way to get billionaires' attention is to mess up the bottom line. And
Yep.
that's what Kevin said, man. But
Yep.
here's the deal.
You want to
Now
piss off Tepper and you want to get him his notice, you piss off the minority owners of the
but
team.
we don't even
Don't
have
show up
minority owners,
Don't
do we?
show up to the game
Of course we have
and don't
minority
sell your
owners.
ticket. That's the easiest way.
Well, who's the
Don't
minority owner?
don't show up to the game.
I don't know them, but I'm sure every team has a minority owner. There's a bunch of minority owners.
All right. I mean, I don't know if.
I mean, David Tepper was a minority owner of the Steelers. I mean,
Yeah, but I think every ownership is different. You know,
Yeah.
like
I mean it is, but
Yeah, it is.
he didn't buy the team like straight up with his own cash. He had a group with him.
no, I mean,
No, he's a majority owner. No, Kevin, he's the majority.
He is the majority, but I'm saying there's minority owners too.
I do want to say about David Tepper. Like, I know we give a lot of like we're hard on him as we should, but I feel like he does try to make moves to like better the team. I really do think he tries, but I also think he should delegate instead of like having his hand in everything, because
That's his problem.
I know. I
Problem.
truly believe there's some head coaches that we interviewed that didn't take the job
Yeah.
because he's too involved. And I truly believe that. Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I
in
agree with
Detroit,
that. I agree with that.
I disagree with that, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
you-
I agree
No.
with that. And the reason why I agree with that is because he's trying to treat this team as it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. This ain't the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry, but it's
But-
not.
But we have no proof of that. All we have is fan speculation. Even the national media doesn't outright say Tepper's trying to hand everything.
If it doesn't work one
Is
season,
Tepper
he just freaks
involved in
out.
everything? Is Tepper involved? Yes. And listen, folks, if I was the owner, I would be involved. But at the same time, that's where if you go back, Tepper relies on one or two people he hires to feed him the information that he doesn't know, because he's outright said before, I'm not an NFL guy. I don't know that much about it. But he relies. First row, it was Marty when Ron was here. Then it was Rule when Rule was here. Now it's Scott because Scott's here.
When
Tepper relies on people that he puts in the spaces to feed him information to help him understand things.
But
Tepper-
Pickle, you don't think that like these guys that are in the front office that he's putting in there, you don't think that they're walking on eggshells?
Well,
Frank
yeah,
Reich,
yeah, but I do that at work sometimes.
No, I know, but
do.
Frank-
And at the same time, I understand what you're saying. I really do. But at the same time, to get an owner that stays at home, Jerry Richardson did that. I'm sorry, he did. Most of the time that he was there early on, and then he got too old, and he just stayed at home all the time. And
Yep.
and when he was involved, he wasn't caring about the team. The team practiced in the
He was caring about
he just
watching
was.
women do some jump ups
He
and
did.
putting them jeans
Nah,
on.
he didn't care.
And when
He didn't care to camera through that monitor out the fucking window. Let's be real with
and
you.
when somebody said we have to have this, he said we good. When people wanted the Panther emblem on the field, he said no, we good. When they said your players are going to enter the Super Bowl when we're practicing in a ballroom, a hotel, he said that's fine. I
Hey,
mean,
Cody.
I did say all that.
Cody,
he didn't care as much as people wanted to because he wasn't involved in it. And I'm not.
Yeah, now we have a guy who cares. Now we have a
too
guy who
much, yeah.
cares.
I'm
Yeah,
just
cares
saying.
so much, but all he does is make terrible moves.
Yeah,
Didn't-
I'm just saying. I think people are pushing Tepper. Ben Johnson, for example. I think that he didn't want to come here for a lot of it twofold. He already had a team built there, and he didn't trust himself to be head coach. He was only offensive coordinator 1 year.
well, what
And
about
number
Nico
two-
Ryan?
D'Amico Ryan, dude, Tepper wasn't hired no defensive guy. That
Right,
was plain
right.
and simple.
Well, hold on.
D'Amico Ryans was only going to be
me.
interviewed because he was black and it satisfied the
I got a
Rooney
question
Rule.
after you, Cody.
Right, that is true too. Well, hold on, let me go to Kevin. Kevin's been trying to get in. Go ahead, Kev.
did Tepper told Frank to simplify the offense for Bryce, right?
Yes, that is apparently what David Tepper has.
That's what I
said.
heard. I heard that.
Do you think Art Rooney told Mike Tomlin to do that to Kenny Pickett? Do you think he tells Mike Tomlin anything to do
Nope.
No, hell
on the
no.
field? Yeah.
Hell no.
No, I
So why
think
the hell
Mike
is
Tomlin's
Mike
going
no,
to
Tomlin?
step
yeah,
in.
100%.
What the hell
If
would
you're
do on the
David
coaching
Tepper,
field?
if you're David Tepper, like again, it's kind of like what Pickle was just saying. Like we went from having an owner that was very hands off, very kind of older, kind of away from the team. Now we have an owner that's the exact opposite. He's so hands on. He wants his dirty little fingerprints on everything relating to the team
He's
Because he's a-
micromanaging.
because he's an egomaniac, dude. He's a billionaire.
I work
Um,
with owners like this. They like to micromanage. They give manager control,
Yeah.
but then they want to hover over you.
Yeah, and it takes a GM, and that's a lot to do with why he's choosing the guys he's chosen. I mean, he wants a guy. He needs a guy who's going to say, "Dude, this is my way. Walk away." And I
back off,
truly
jack off.
believe. I
Yeah.
truly believe that some AJ Brooks mentions Jim Harbaugh. I don't think he's ever going to get hired.
He
Well,
ain't
let-
coming here.
Much as
He
people
ain't
love
coming
it.
here, bro.
well, let me ask you.
He's not
Well,
coming
hold
here.
on. First, let me do this. By the way, if anybody would like to join the show, for once we have room, there's 4 spaces
Yeah.
available. If you would like to be
Right.
a part, if you would like, and we got 135 people watching, man. If you want to make your opinion known, be a part of the show. Jump in and let us know what you're feeling about this.
Yeah.
I
Or
do
she
want to.
maybe, yeah.
I do want to move on to the next topic, but before we do, are there any other thoughts or comments about the March on Men? Because just to be real, this is something that's it's taking wings, man. Pro
Yeah.
Football Talk
Yeah.
is commenting on it. Like a lot of the major news outlets on Twitter and just around football are starting to report on this. And by hey, man, I'm not a hater.
It's just bad press for
Kudos to Rashad and
Tepper.
Dave for
It really
Right.
is.
for putting
I
this
agree with
on. But any other comments and statements about the March on Men and what
hope
you
it-
might like to see happen from it?
I think
I
it
hope
has
it
to be.
works.
Yeah, right, Kevin. I agree with you. I think it has to be a call on jobs, though. I don't think it's a keep pounding type chant when it comes to like a march on.
No, I
It's
agree
not
with
that. It's definitely not that. I
No,
think it's
no.
definitely a march on call for jobs. Like that's
And I
gotta
think
be what
they-
it is,
But I
right?
mean, I
And
think that's
I think
Go ahead,
Rashard
Kevin.
needs to have a meeting before they do this too,
because
saying,
you
"Hey,
gotta-
we're going to
yeah,
do
it'll
this.
fall
We're going to
apart.
do that."
Yeah, because
I
you
agree
got to
with you.
be. I mean, and at the same time, it's if I just hypothetically say you get 200 people, hypothetically,
That's,
you get
that's a
200
good bit.
people march up in there and say
good
we
bit.
want Scott Fitterer fired. Tepper kind of says okay, and I was planning to do that, but we'll do that now, and he fires Scott Fitterer. How do you feel that next GM? I mean, the other day, me and Cody talked about a guy from the Kansas City, a guy from the Ravens, and a guy from the Eagles would all like to see her come GM. Do you really think they're going to leave their nice, cushy job to come here and to be micromanaged by the owner, to be told what quarterback they have to go with?
I do think so. If they
At
throw
the
a back,
very same
if,
time, have to deal with the fans who are protesting in the street left and right.
That's
You
what I just
really
said about
think
free
they're gonna
agents.
come here?
I think
Uh-uh.
Pepper. I think David Tepper, if he throws the bag at him, which he's going to, he's going to throw a bag at the GM. Sorry, but the next GM is getting a bag. I
But
just
we're-
Yeah,
think they-
but money, but money's money, but they could get money elsewhere.
Yeah, and we're already having
but as
trouble
much
getting
money
free
as David
agents to
Tepper
come
could throw
here.
him, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
don't-
Wait,
I
hold
don't-
on. Go ahead, Kev.
Go ahead,
What were you
Kevin.
saying?
I was gonna say we're already having trouble getting free agency to come here, and like
Mhm.
we're gonna have to overpay, and then now you add fans angry in the streets.
Right.
I mean, I'm hoping that something good comes from it, but
That's
I
what
just
but
think
what
By
I'm
that-
the
gonna
way,
say,
hey,
Kevin,
real quick, I love this clip
Yeah.
because you know damn well that David Tepper told them before the match, "Hey, do not put me on camera." Oh, there we are. I'm on camera.
and they
And
did.
now he's
Look
all
at him.
pissed off.
I think
Where's
And then he's like,
Nicole?
"Son of a
Where's
bitch."
Nicole?
I know one thing.
And
I know
look,
one
he
thing
knows
good come
that
from
this is
it.
going viral online too, bro. You know he knows.
I know one good thing will come from it is that David Tepper would have to answer questions. if there's a lot of people out there,
Yeah.
And I will
he's
say
going to have to
that
ask about
y'all
it.
gotta people gotta understand too, though, that the GM and the head coach, that don't go against your capital. You can throw whatever the fuck you want to at your GM and your head coach. That don't go against your team cap space. It don't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, but to you, 100,000 is a great deal of money.
It is.
A
Absolutely.
guy
Yeah.
yes, but to a guy who's a professional GM going from one job that makes $2 million to another job that makes $3 million ain't a lot of money.
No,
I mean, I'm not gonna argue against you. I mean, you're not really wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
$3 million still sounds better than $2 million.
Yeah, but and I mean, it just goes a lot to do with comfort and long term. It's long term.
If you're fearing to get fired after 1 year, I mean.
If GM, here's what I think's going to happen anyway. Regardless whether it's a March happens, it don't happen. I believe that there's some things that people ain't going to like. Another GM coming here is going to force, in order him to get a job here, unless he hires from within, and he may do that. Another GM is going to say, wait a minute, if I come there, I want to bring in a quarterback to compete with Bryce Young, because Bryce Young hasn't looked good enough to be the franchise you want him to be.
He's probably not getting hired, though, if he says that.
That ain't going to happen until 2025.
Well, let me say this, right? Everybody's really talking about Jim Harbaugh, if we're talking about brand new coaches and whatever. And Jim Harbaugh, he has a rich NFL.
He ain't gonna deal with Tepper, bro.
And this is what I've been saying, Kevin, that there is no way that Jim Harbaugh is going to come to want to be a part of this roster, and number two, have somebody like David Tepper looming over his every move and dictating the decisions.
He left the NFL for that reason.
David Tepper wants yes men. Hey, hold on. Before I swear we're going to move on, but I haven't heard from my man Deez yet. Deez, I gotta get you in on this, my brother.
I haven't heard either.
Yeah, talk to me, man. Are you down? Are you down with the March on Mint? And what do you feel is the ultimate purpose of this whole thing?
Yeah, I'm down with the March on Mint. That's fine with me. Just make sure you include property crime in my area on that. With that March, I've got a 1 in 16 chance of being a victim to property crime. Include that within the protests that we're having about the Carolina Panthers. Jets fans would appreciate it if you would include them as well. Lions fans, this went 30 years without doing anything really, making the playoffs, a playoff win. You can include them as well, and Browns fans also. So they just need to amend what they're marching on and add some other important subjects going on within society. One of them I heard mentioned was taxes, right? Every time we get paid, they withdraw 25% of what we make to taxes. And then when you go to the grocery store, you pay taxes again on those items that you're buying. So just include some other important issues during the march. I think it should work out well.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, since we're already out there,
your taxpayers pay for that stadium.
Yeah, we're already out there, so we should just protest all the things that ail us. Hey, man, I'm down.
Yeah, Panthers fans for change. We're changing society out here. Let's go.
Panther fans changing the
bag
world.
that shit up and send it off.
If I can throw this out here real quick.
Well, hold on. I wanted to get to this real bad because I feel like this is going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of back and forth when it comes to this. I want to play y'all this short clip of Bryce Young. This was him after the game yesterday. And I want y'all to tell me, do you think that this man is being broken by this process? Like, are we doing damage to Bryce? And, basically, do we need to consider benching Bryce Young?
Our defense, great game, start to finish. We have to be better. I have to be better first and foremost. I have to be a lot better. So we have to be better. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. And that's not me. That's not just me. That's everyone. We're competitors. Losing is frustrating.
Damn, broke his ass.
It's fresh. You feel it, but at the end of the day, you gotta turn the page.
He ain't used to it.
And frustrated, however you feel.
This man said it's not just me. It's not just
It's not going
me.
to help. You have to turn that and use that in action throughout the week, and then we have to translate it to Sunday or Thursday night, whatever. We have to translate it. We care. We work hard. You know, I'm grateful to be playing with the guys that I am. You know, we work hard. You know, we're throughout the week. You know, we look good. We execute. We push. But we got to find a way to make that translate again, especially offensively. First and foremost, myself. I have to be better. And as a unit, we can't put out. We can't have performances like that. We're better than that. We can't put that on film. So yeah, it's very frustrating.
You're better than that.
Ultimately,
That's the issue. You're better than
frustrating or not,
that.
it's not going to help you next week. So we got to be able to use that, turn it into something, and channel it and find.
So basically, my man continues to say a whole lot, really, without saying anything at all. And listen, some people think that I'm this Bryce Young hater. Bro, I
Yep.
feel bad
Seen
for
that
him.
lately. I do
I
too.
feel
I do too,
bad.
I do too,
Hold
Cody.
on. I feel bad for Bryce Young because
I
one
do
of the
too.
things that has become apparent is that opposite to what we thought, this is the worst possible scenario and the worst possible team that Bryce
For
Young
anybody.
could have been drafted
Yep.
to in order to maximize his skill set and do what he wants to do. We knew that they wanted to put Bryce Young in more of an RPO type of system, and they don't have the players to do it. Now, because of that, even when Bryce does have open players, he's missing them. They're having
Yeah,
Bryce
he is.
get the ball out of his hands,
Staring him down.
staring him down. They're having
Yep.
Bryce get the ball out of his hands so fast that he really isn't going through full field progressions. And I feel like it's not only is it detrimental to his health this season. I mean, the man is taking a beating back there behind that offensive line. But I don't know, man. Right now, it just seems like we're putting all of this on Bryce. He's in an unfair scenario. Fans are going to want more from him. You traded up for him, and now all of this is on his shoulders when Bryce is really a bystander of how incompetent this organization is right now. So, what I want to know from all of you, and I'm getting ready to put a poll up in the chat to ask this
Go
as
ahead.
well. Should Bryce Young be benched? And if so, why? Who wants to jump in on this first?
Absolutely not.
I will
Well, hold
say.
on. I read a timeout. I heard Kevin first. I'm going to let Kevin go first.
Go ahead.
Absolutely not. You're already almost halfway. You're actually over halfway through the season. You
Over
gotta let him
halfway,
finish
yep.
it out. You gotta let him finish it out. Even if he's horrible, trash, it don't matter. You gotta let him finish it.
So
Well,
just let him finish. All right. Let him
Yeah, I mean-
struggle.
I would disagree.
All right, go ahead.
I would disagree to the point, like seriously, like at this point, I think against the Cowboys next week, I say why not start Andy Dalton for the simple fact save Bryce Young at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to his offensive line, it's terrible. I'd rather have Andy Dalton taking the risk than Bryce Young at this point.
Let me ask you a question. And I'm gonna take this. Some things I don't know that much about, so I take advice from those who do, like quarterback. What we're going through right now, Kurt Warner, Alex Smith, Rich Gannon all said that compared to what they seen in Alabama to what they see now, Bryce is making mistakes he never made before.
And you're right. You're right.
Feet
Pickle.
work
You're
are
right.
not correct. He's not
You're
looking
right.
at the complete field. A lot of it has to do with the offensive line. It has to do with play calling. It has to do with the lack thereof of receiving core. A lot of this
And
isn't on
progression.
his control.
And progression.
Well, progressions because a lot of the progression is a lot to do with everything else.
I
A
agree
lot
with
of
that. I agree
times,
with that.
Alex Smith said a lot of times, if you look on film, you'll see open guys. He said people do that. He says, but you don't know the zone concept that team has called because the defense does a lot of traps, and the zone concepts are designed to screw with the quarterback especially young quarterbacks, to make them think these guys are open. And some older coaches will just tell them, if you don't 100% know a guy's open, don't throw it to him. So there's a lot of concepts there that, and right now, to my opinion, Bryce looks broke. Now, is he unfixable broke? I don't think he's unfixable broke yet. But their comments are to bench him for his own mental health, because right now he's not unfixable broke. But if he finishes a year, you might as well call him a backup for a few more years.
Well, Pickle, hold on, time out. Pickle, let me ask you this. Well, let me ask you this. What would you make of somebody that says, well, look, if it takes one really bad rookie season to ruin Bryce Young for the rest of his career, then he was never the quarterback anyway. What do you make? What do you make of that?
You know what? I almost agree to that. I've agreed with it before, but in this scenario, I doubt there's a young quarterback that was succeeding. To be bluntly honest, I doubt in this scenario right here, Cam Newton, a rookie, would succeed in this.
I'm not gonna agree with that. I'm not gonna agree with that.
You know who Bryce sounds like?
Now, you also have to understand, Cam Newton was bigger, and
he was more physical. Yep, he was more physical too.
But that's
way
not
more
Bryce.
physical.
That's not Bryce.
He's not. You're right.
You got what you got.
Right.
Yeah, but
who you wanted to who you drafted. This is your medicine.
Go ahead, Alex.
But you know what? I'm also going to say, you know what? This is his first year, so this is where you obviously we see it in 8-9 games. Like, it's not working. We don't have the right personnel, like you brought up, Pickles. So, I mean, we're gonna have to build around Bryce. We picked him as our first pick, so I want to give him 2 or 3 years. You know, obviously
I'll give him 2 years.
Yeah, and build the team around him. Build that offensive line.
Yep.
Because we see in games when he has time, the ball comes out and it's an accurate football. It's an accurate football. Now,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if we decide to sign a wide receiver that's worth the fuck and a running back worth the fuck, and we built the offensive line from what we had, if Bryce Young is still not playing to that ability, you can say at that point where he has a number 1 wide receiver and a running back, you can't blame it just on Bryce Young. Am I wrong?
No, I mean you can't really blame. The thing is that, well, one, we're not going to sign a running back. We signed one, and it's Miles Sanders. And the thing is that
he can get dropped. He can get dropped this year.
You could see when he has a good offensive line behind him. Even Miles Sanders had a great year last year with Philly. They had a good offensive line.
He had number 1 offensive line in the league with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he had number 1.
But let's be real. Our offensive line, even though it was better last year, it wasn't a top 10 offensive line. It wasn't. It was just an okay offensive line. We were just
okay. It was okay.
There was a great running offensive line.
Yeah, running the football. Running the football. We went great last year. Yeah, but also that's another thing. We went to a different offensive scheme in the midst of transitioning from one coaching staff to another. And by the way, you remember all these different coaches were hired for the sole purpose of, to quote unquote modernize the Panthers offense. We had been a downhill running attack for as long as any of us can remember. Power offense, running the football between the A and B gap. And, now we wanted to do something different. We wanted to go to more of an RPO, pass-happy type of an offense. And this O-line was not built, in my opinion, to be a high-level pass-protecting offensive line. And
Brady Christian
continues to struggle. Our guard play right now is abysmal, man. Throckmorton is now starting to struggle at that left guard spot. Taylor Moton.
Cody.
I feel like this year now more than ever, Taylor Moton is showing his age more than ever before.
How much hate did Brady Christian get hurt? Like, how much hate did he get after he got hurt? Because he got so much goddamn hate as a left guard position that he cannot protect as a pass protector. He got so much hate. And after he got hurt, oh shit, the left guard position. What
Yeah.
happened?
Let me explain last year, because if you go back on film and watch it, and Cody, we need to do this at some point. We as a film room need to do this. We need to go back and watch the film of Icky and Bradley Bozeman last year after Rule got fired, because
Right.
it's clear. Because if you go back there and look at that, you'll see the running back, mainly Foreman, because Foreman was a much better pass blocker,
Yeah.
would help Bradley Bozeman, and
Mhm.
Ian Thomas or
Yep.
Trimble
Or
would
Bay
help
Christian.
Icky at
Or even Bay Christian,
at
yep.
nearly every single pass
Yeah.
protection scheme.
Yep.
Therefore, that in itself was the reason why we were able to pass when we passed last year.
Mhm.
And you're
I
not
wanted
doing
to.
that this year because Thomas Brown says we don't need to.
Yeah,
Y'all need
dude,
to
there's
remember
so
that.
many
Thomas
weird
Brown
things.
said we don't need to do that.
There's so many weird things about this offense right now. Hey, I wanted to highlight this comment just because it was such a nice comment from a Bills fan who's been following us for a while. Red, White, and Bill says Wright gets a lot of flack. However, you don't really have any stars and good players. Maybe
Facts.
he's hog-tied due to a limited quarterback and offense. Love y'all. Hang in there. It always gets better.
We got a
Then he was-
Bills fan. Wait a minute.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
A
Dude,
Bill
we had
fan?
a Bear,
Talking
dude, we have
positive.
we have
Holy
Bears
shit.
fans. We have Bills fans. Then he said failure.
I
breeds
appreciate y'all.
success. Manning had 30 interceptions his rookie year. Red, White, and Bills, I appreciate you, brother. And I understand that the Bills know what we're talking about. They've been through some bad times as an organization. Like, I believe we all remember the Bills before Josh Allen and how they were able
And
to
listen,
turn
I-
things around.
I think if we get a running game and an actual like receiver that can stretch the field, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think we need to get a better offensive line and pass protection on the offensive line. Not
I
so
think-
much.
All right.
That's what I agree. I mean, because you could bring in a T. Higgins, you could bring in a bigger, better running back, but at the end of the day, it comes
I
down
mean,
to the trenches. And
Let-
It
let-
worked.
let
It
me
worked
ask-
for the Bengals.
Let me ask everybody a question.
Patty
And this-
Grimes says
this-
he's a
this-
Lions fan.
This-
Yeah, we got fans from all around, man.
This is a serious question about the very
I think
next game,
Patty's full.
because I want to know the answer. I know my personal opinion, but I want y'all's opinion. Okay, we don't have a left tackle backup unless you count the undrafted Ricky Lee. And no disrespect to him, but I don't think he played well enough to start in preseason, although I don't watch practice, so maybe he's improved. I'll just leave the left tackle situation alone for my lack of knowledge thereof. Now, that being said, if it was up to you, or do you think we should bench Throckmorton and Bradley Bozeman for the Thorpe guy we picked up from the Eagles, who has experience at center and guard, and hypothetically say Cade Mays, because he has experience too. Now, if you don't like them, suggest somebody else. That's cool. But right now, without going to free agents and signing somebody, would you bench them for lack of performance? Because it's not working now. In my opinion, you have to make a change. It's just the way life is.
Do y'all feel? Why do you all feel like Andy Dalton would be able to do something better in this offense?
Well, let me tell you what it would do.
Right.
To Pickle's point, if we start benching players, like let's bench players just to see what happens. Because what it will tell us about the scheme. Is the scheme worthwhile, or do we do worse? If we do worse, then we know maybe the scheme is okay and it's somewhat functional. Well, actually, the opposite. If our backup players go out there and are successful, then we know it's effort, right? So it's lack of effort from the guys that are in the game, and there's a lot of evidence on film. You guys broke it down last night, where guys aren't given full effort. You can't sit here and tell me that Smith Marset scored that touchdown, that punt return because of just talent. It was fucking effort, he was trying hard. He tweeted 2 days earlier that he wanted to get in the game, and he's already proven himself. He doesn't understand why he gets a chance, but yet we go over play after play where Mingo gives minimal or little effort, like trying not to get the football. And that's why I say, like just like Pickle said, bench everybody. Throw all the backups in and let's see what's going on. Let's see what we really got. Is it lack of effort? Is it lack of execution? Yep. Or is it a scheme altogether? And if you just sub everybody out, maybe even at halftime, throw all the guys in just like it's a preseason game, and then we can see what's really going on here. Is it effort or is it scheme? I'd love to know where to start pointing a finger. And a substitution of all the starters would do that, to Pickle's point.
And did you think that if we end up going to Andy Dalton, and remember, I've been saying this for a while, that Seattle Seahawks game, to me, it felt like there was more of an emphasis on pushing the ball downfield. And that's
I agree with that. The play calling was better too. The play calling was better too.
What I'm thinking is if why do you not trust Bryce to be able to throw it downfield, but yet you trust Andy Dalton to do it? Like, this is literally the guy that you moved up to number 1 to draft. Surely you felt that his arm wasn't good enough, or else why would you be drafting him at number 1 if he didn't have the ability to push the ball downfield?
He does. Sorry guys, I'm back on here by the way, but
good, Anthony. Go ahead.
He can push the ball. We saw it in the game. They just don't call up those plays a lot. Like we saw him.
He missed some plays too, though, Anthony. You can't lie.
No,
to that
he
shit,
did.
Though.
And listen, I'm on the train where it's like, dude, I said this in my call last night. I want Andy Dalton to start at this point because one, Bryce is going to get killed by the Cowboys next week with
Michael Parsons. Yeah, Michael Parsons. Yeah. I just don't think that this coaching staff really meshes well with what Bryce is good at. Like Pickle brought it up earlier. It's just like no one even can figure out what this offense is supposed to be. And I don't really like, I know, listen, not everything's on Frank Reich, but I do not like when a coach says 10 weeks in or 8 weeks in, we don't even know what our offensive identity is.
Yeah.
Because even the most basic of coaches, even with Ben McAdoo, when Steve Wilkes took over, he just said, you're going to run the ball 40 times. And Ben McAdoo said, okay, that was their identity. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to know what the goal of the offense should be from week to week. And it's just like, this team doesn't. Like Steve Wilkes in most of the celebrations in the locker room, he'd look at the stat sheet, he'd be like, we did what we were supposed to. We ran the ball this, defense did this. Like, there's none of that. So I just think we don't have an identity. And, like, yeah, Bryce is missing throws. There's no question. He's playing not good.
I know you ain't no Chick-fil-A though right now.
No, I'm not. But you can't tell me
right now.
You can't tell me he can't push the ball down the field.
I'm not going to disagree with you. What you just said that Bryce Young can push the ball downfield. Is that what you just said, Anthony?
Well,
yes, what he said.
I mean, did everyone else?
I will not disagree. I will not disagree with you that he cannot push it down the field because he can. But you cannot say that he has had plays where he stares down a fucking wide receiver from the play calling in the huddle. He has stared down the wide receiver from the play call to when he snaps the fucking ball because he has.
It's worse than that.
Yes, per snap. He had a Terrence Marshall Jr. He never looked to the right side of the field from the fucking the middle of the field to the left side. He never looked right. The whole play calling. I watched it with Pickle and whoever else I watched it with. He never looked right. He looked left the whole fucking way. That's his issue. He is staring down wide receivers a problem.
Yeah. It's been a big
right. So what we're trying to figure out is it his issue or is it Frank Reich's issue is what we're trying to figure out, right? So what did Frank Reich say, I think, yesterday or today in the press conference? He said, yeah, we're not trying to throw for 500 yards out here. He said we're just trying to get 24 points. Like he's got some kind of scheme that is protecting Bryce from losing a game, because it's okay to say Bryce lost us a couple games this year. Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. He definitely lost the last two, and he could have lost more before, like the Vikings game with the fumble. He's trying to limit those turnovers. Those wins and losses matter to Frank Reich, and he's trying to limit Bryce on the mistakes from throwing downfield. But it's completely backfiring, and it's keeping the offense from doing anything at all. And what they're doing with the running game, I have no idea. That's just lack of effort, it looks like to me, which is why I think they should make some changes, because if you can't run the ball, how in the hell are we going to pass the ball? We can't do step A. How are we going to do step B? Go ahead, Pickle.
Yeah, if a lot of it's personnel, and I know people are tired of hearing this, and I'm going to stay on this train till it breaks, because it's personnel. Last year we had Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble, and we lined up when we were running, we lined up in a lot of 2 tight end sets, and we lined up in 2 wide receiver sets, and we lined up in a fullback or it was either a fullback or just a H-back in the backfield. If we've had lined up with an H-back, a lot of the times it was Tommy Tremble or anyway, the fullback. Sometimes it was Kate Mays. The reason why we're not doing that this year is we're lined up in 3 wide sets. We're not good at running in those formations because it requires the offensive lineman to be one-on-one. And
because he has to be in shotgun all the time. Because he can't take a snap from under center.
We finally got Al back in the building. Welcome, Al the Sailor. Al, what's up?
What's up, bro? What's going on, Pickle? What's going on, guys? Anthony, the other guy.
Man? What's on your mind, Al?
Nah, man, I'm just saying, like, we're in three receiver sets because he has to be in shotgun every play because he can't.
See, my friend Al, I see that's the problem. That's the problem, and I'm going to get this out. And it's no offense against you. Don't take it personally. But there's a wide selection of Panther fans who are blaming Bryce Young being in shotgun all the time on Bryce Young. It's Bryce Young's fault. Bryce Young lines up where the coaches tell him. If the incompetent coaching staff says you got to line up in shotgun every play, that dude got to line up in shotgun. He can't say, no, I don't want to. I'm going to line up where I want to. He can't do that. So he lines up where he's told. If you want to bitch about somebody lining up in shotgun, go to the coaches. Those are the
I definitely disagree because I watched Carson Wentz play with Indiana. I watched Carson Wentz play with Philadelphia, and he used to line up under center.
Have anything to do with Bryce Young? Every time
he's fucking small. What do you mean, bro? What are you talking about, Pickle?
Hold on, one at a time.
It's all about his size. It's all about.
It is about his size, bro. It's about his size.
Say that. Don't be around
bullshit about his fucking size, bro. What are you talking about, bro? That's about his size. He fucking sucks. He's fucking small. Fucking too small.
Right? Well, then say
yo, you realize.
I think the divide is that Al is basically saying that because Bryce is of a certain size, that he is essentially going to be put into shotgun more and more. Now, the New Orleans Saints, they did a great job putting Drew Brees under center, and he was also a shorter quarterback. And they have put Bryce under center some this year. My question is it because they don't have the personnel around him, or is it because they just don't know how to adapt to the personnel that they have? Like, what is
Cody,
the disconnect?
Maybe the offensive line.
Let me say it.
Yeah.
I agree with Pickle 100% because when he was under center on the 4th and 1 play, it worked. When he's been under center with the bootleg play to Tommy Tremble, it worked. The coaching staff is the incompetence here. Listen, Bryce Young is a rookie. He's played had a bad rookie season. I'm not taking any blame off his plate. But the fact is that when you're in shotgun on 3rd and 1 because, quote unquote, you don't trust your quarterback, that's a bullshit excuse because you've been under center on a 4th and 1 bootleg. There's instances where the under center works. The incompetent coaching staff just doesn't know what they're doing. That's the reality of it. You can blame the quarterback.
I mean,
blame the front office. I want to bring up something Dees said. Dees was talking about how Frank Reich needs these wins, and he's 100% correct because Frank Reich's on the hot seat. The problem is that, remember, we came into the season, and this coaching staff and Scott Fitter were talking about how we need to win. We need to win. The division's wide open. The reality is they are playing like their jobs are on the line, and Bryce Young, and they're trying to put Bryce Young in these situations to not make mistakes instead of letting him go out there, be a rookie, playing the ball, because they're on two different pages once again.
Yes.
This goes back to my last thing about how I keep saying the front office is always on a different page with one another, and it's showing from this Bryce Young pick. Listen, if you guys wanted to go out and win a division, you didn't have to draft a rookie quarterback. You could have signed Derek Carr. So if you were more comfortable, and I mentioned this many times,
we could have rolled out with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, if you were more comfortable with a veteran quarterback because you don't trust the even rookie, you don't trust the rookie for what you're trying to do, but at the same time you're trying to win. That's a bullshit malpractice right there.
It is.
That's a bullshit malpractice.
Anthony, I agree with you, Anthony, about the coaching. The coaching is fucking pretty bad. It's very terrible.
Yeah,
but I got a question for you. What is Bryce Young good at?
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that, let me introduce my man JJ into the Friday Free for All. JJ,
what's up? Y'all hear me good?
What's up, JJ?
Yeah.
Sound good, man.
It's fine. All right. New mic, so just testing it. But yeah,
no, you sound
continue
great,
on.
No, man. What
now
you
let
think?
me ask you a question.
What's up? What you got?
If you hypothetically replaced Bryce Young with another quarterback, doesn't matter who, would the Carolina Panthers automatically be a much better team? Just
we would be more viable. I'll tell you that. We'd be more viable. We'd be more watchable.
Okay,
so we'd be more watchable.
So the only problem the Carolina Panthers have is
that's not the only problem, Pickle. That's not the only problem, Pickle. That's not the only problem, Pickle. But
hold on, one at a time.
That's not the only problem, Pickle. But
I mean, I listen. I understand what you're saying.
Oh no, bro.
I'll be honest with you. I go all the way back, and you can look it up on Friday Free for Alls. You really can. If people want to look it up, they can. I go all the way back. I didn't want Bryce to start with, because I said he was too short, too skinny. I ragged G Baby to death over that.
I agree with Anthony. Hey, I agree with what Anthony said.
That's what we got.
Hey,
that's what we got. But that's what we have. That's exactly what it is.
All right, hold on. Let me get control. Let me get Kev. Go ahead, Kev.
How many times did Andy Dalton was in the shotgun against Seattle?
Basically,
I don't remember.
I mean, I honestly can't remember.
He was in the shotgun a lot, and that goes to the point. That this coaching staff is just not. I don't know. I don't like them.
I agree with Anthony as far as
where did Thomas Brown come from? What offense did Thomas Brown come from?
The Rams.
The Rams.
Okay. Ask yourself. Are the Rams in shotgun a lot?
Yes. Yeah, but does Matthew Stafford get on the quarterback?
There you go. That's the point.
Does Matthew Stafford get on the quarterback?
Not
a lot. He does. He does.
No, by his own
He
choice.
is a quarterback.
But you got to remember, Matthew Stafford's not a rookie, and he makes.
Or under center. Does he get under center? My bad.
Rookie.
Well, but here's the question though. Are we saying that Bryce is essentially going to be a bust or a bad quarterback if he can't be under center? Which again, I don't feel like he can't be under center. I just feel like they wanted this. They said they wanted this to be a heavy RPO style offense, and thus far, we don't have the right type of talent around him to be able to run that up tempo spread style offense.
It's straight drop back. It's literally Joe Burrow rookie. It's straight drop back. And listen, he can run the under center. I've seen plays. They just decide not to do it. To Cody's point, yes, Bryce Young will be a bust if he stays here. But if he goes somewhere else, I have full confidence he will be a good quarterback. Just
How
because
can
we're the
how
dysfunctional
can
part of this whole thing.
how can Bryce Young run the RPO when he doesn't threaten the defense? He doesn't have the athleticism to threaten the defense. How can you be an RPO offense?
He run quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he ran
Yeah,
for 2
yeah, on
first downs
scrambles.
yesterday.
If you
On
watch
scrambles.
you'll know that, my friend.
But you said an RPO offense. You said an RPO offense.
Well,
That's not that's what
RPO
And
offense
Ed,
is all about
those are
QB play.
plays breaking downs.
But yeah, but
on the
RPOs is
edge.
not just about quarterback run.
Yeah, but it's a threat
Yeah,
of the
fake the
quarterback running
handoff.
though. Also though, Cody.
No, I mean it is, but it like you can run RPOs without having it be a quarterback run style RPO type system. I mean you can either hand the ball off or pass to your receiver. Another
I
thing
see what
that
you're
we
saying.
have
I
to
see what you're
mention
saying.
is like
I see what
the
you're saying.
Panthers are not running the football. We
At
are
all.
not complimentary. We
At
do
all.
not. We are not a good running team. We're
Well,
not running the football effectively,
No.
and therefore it doesn't set up
Cody.
to be able to pass effectively.
Cody, so my thing is that like kind of what Anthony alluded to was, there's the front office and then the coaching staff, like they're not on the same page. To me, it didn't make any sense from the beginning when they traded Christian McCaffrey and then they brought in Miles Sanders. Like to me, like, and then you drop in a quarterback, you're saying, oh, the team's going to be successful. To me, it never made any sense. They had weapons for Bryce. Christian McCaffrey was on the team. He was under contract. It made no sense to get rid of him. He wanted to be a Panther for life, and he said it. And it's just like, to me, like the team's just unraveling. It starts from the top down, and they just need to start all over again as far as the front office staff goes. That's just how they have
Let me
to
add
go
on to
about it.
Alex.
And Paul Mancini, hold on. Paul Mancini says Cody's way wrong. The Panthers are not RPO at all. They said in their press conferences early this year that that's what they want to be. They obviously are not a tried and true traditional RPO because they don't have the necessary weapons to be able to run RPO type stuff. But that is literally what came out of their mouth verbatim, that they want to be that style of offense. Thereby, they're putting Bryce Young in a situation where you're fitting a square peg into a round
That's
hole.
all it is. That's all it is. It's just what I was about to bring up. You're throwing screen passes to Adam Thielen when you could have been throwing screen passes to DJ Moore. This is just this whole thing. It's just and to the point of Al. Like I feel bad because, I mean not Al, Alex when he was bringing up like it feels like okay, Scott Fitter and Tepper they wanted a rookie quarterback. Frank wanted Derek Carr. But they both wanted to win this season. So again, they put their different philosophies as a square peg into a circle hole, and it's not working out. This whole thing just seems so clustered. Like it's such collusion right now to the point where it's like you can point fingers everywhere, and no one's been good on this offense at all. But they don't try things that seem to work for small spurts. Like that's why I just don't buy the whole thing that we can't run we can't run I formation, we can't
You know what?
bootleg
Give me
out.
next, JJ.
I feel like I'm hearing a lot of excuses for Bryce Young just not living up to expectations.
Thank you,
All right,
JJ.
well, go on that, JJ.
It's early. It's 9 games in his first year.
What do you want to do?
Nah, it's not that it's
really,
early.
what do y'all want to do?
It's also.
I mean,
well, hold on, go ahead, JJ. Finish your thought.
Y'all keep talking about the roster and how it's built. The roster was built for Bryce to be better than what he's been. Also, like Anthony said it perfectly. It was this team is playing like Joe Burrow's rookie year in a drop back style. We saw Joe Burrow his rookie year executed way better than what Bryce Young's doing right now. To sit here and just completely let Bryce off the hook is just outrageous, honestly.
Yeah, letting him off the hook is saying he's played bad. That makes no sense, JJ. I'm not taking.
And I say he was responsible for multiple losses too.
I don't know of anybody on here right now.
I think that's fair.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
we're
And
not
I
living up
think
to it.
and I think Joe Burrow had a lot better talent. He still had Higgins. He still
I mean,
had-
again,
Yeah.
I ask anybody on the panel, pick you a quarterback, put him behind everything you got that you saw yesterday, and you tell me that we're going to the Super Bowl. Pick you a
Well,
quarterback.
that
We can't-
definitely.
We ain't gonna go to the Super Bowl.
No,
We ain't
definitely.
gonna go to.
Can
I
we
mean,
play?
with the defense, if we
It's
can,
a-
have, I mean, with the defense, with a partially competent quarterback, we can get into the playoffs, and then we have a chance.
It's a run first offense. It's a run first offensive line, and Bryce throws it 45 times. I'm sorry, it's not the right thing to do. It's not. This is a run
You know,
first.
if you want to fix this team
They got to
right
throw
now,
it. You got no.
right
you can't
now,
run it.
you make sacrifices that nobody's willing to make. Number one, you get you a real fullback. Stop with the bullshit. Converted somebody. You get you a real fucking fullback. We got a guy that played third tight end yesterday, and he was a fat wide receiver. He's a 31-year-old wide receiver. As he got older, he got fat, so they lined him up at tight end. That's a bullshit excuse. Go get you a real tight end, a real fullback, and you develop and you get you another tight end who can run block. The other two tight ends we have are Sullivan and Hayden Hurst are not run blockers.
Cody,
So then you run the fucking
Anyway,
that
give me him when you can.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me let D's go. Go ahead, D's.
So Kirk Herbstreit he did the game last night, and then he was on the Pat McAfee show today. And I don't think we can show that on here, can we? Wasn't that demonetized if we show that on here? His comments.
Yeah, because it's on ESPN now.
That's fine. So let me try to surmise what the man said. He said that our offense is in transition. We're in transition from that power run offense like Pickle wants. And to be honest, if we want to win this year, we probably should go to that immediately, which is what I've been screaming for and what we should have done over the bye week is transition to that power run since that's what we're good at. But we're transitioning to this RPO spread college style offense that Bryce was so effective at. Unfortunately, we don't have the roster to uphold that. We don't have a Jameson Williams. We don't have a Tyreek Hill like the Miami Dolphins. We need those things on this team for that spread offense to take place. And I think Kirk Herbstreit really nailed it on the head. This is an offense in transition with players that don't fit what we're trying to do. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And
I
we're
agree.
running, and Frank, their playbook is run like they have elite players. Like we have elite personnel. That's the problem. Like it doesn't have to be this complicated in what the message has to be. Again, it goes back to the fact that Frank Reich is out here in week 9 and still saying he doesn't know what his offensive identity, what they are supposed to be. He needs to be fucking fired for that shit. And there's two things from this. Bryce Young is only probably going to get one more year with the next coaches and GM that comes in. They'll put some weapons around him and see if he can get the job done. If not, we'll be picking in the top 5 the following season. And I wanted to bring this up. Matt Rule was bad, but Matt Rule had no idea like what he was doing. He just threw shit at the wall and still somehow managed to win 5 games. Frank Reich, like they know what they want to do and they do it, and it's just flat out bad. Like what they're doing every week is just flat out bad. Like there's a difference. It's like Matt Rule guessed on a test and got some of the answers right. Frank Reich studied for the test and he fucking got none of the answers right. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I kind of feel bad for Frank Reich. He got matched up with Bryce Young. You know, at least Matt Rule had like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
Damn, JJ, how do you really feel?
Well,
Hey,
let's be
but
real,
but
JJ.
what? Hey,
I
like,
mean,
let's
Matt
be
Rule
real.
had,
Like you're,
Because
DJ
Bryce
Moore.
Young was his quarterback.
well, hey, but you know, and look, this is another
This is
thing,
the same man that's been saying fire Frank Reich since like week fucking 4. How funny
That's
is
right.
that?
You're right.
Man,
But,
I've
hey,
been
man,
saying
I'm
fire
just
Frank Reich
saying
since
it.
week 1.
I'm saying it like this though. If you're the guy, if you're the Frank Reich, and you brought in Bryce Young, and you felt like he was your preferred quarterback, why on earth in last night's game on 4th and 10, why in the world are you not putting the ball into the hand of the quarterback that you said that you picked in order to go and win the game, and instead you preferred to do a 59-yard field goal. Dude, look at Eddie Pinero's face. He's
I
like,
love it.
oh, well, I knew that shit wasn't going in.
Yep.
Dude, just
Yep.
embarrassing, man. And then Frank Reich wants to talk about how the percentages said that was the best thing to do there. But meanwhile, you have other coaches that were telling him that it was not the best thing to do, that they should have thrown the ball on 4th and 10. And then now you have Frank in the press conference saying, oh, yeah, now in hindsight, I wish that's what we would have done. And, dude, it's like, how do you not? That's why I told Pickle to tell Frank Reich to shut the hell up. It's like, dude, you don't have to be that honest at the podium. Like, there's some shit that you just don't have to say. Some things are better left to yourself, and that is one of them. It's like, come on, man. You sound
Cody,
so dumb.
You know what the,
It's a bold-faced lie.
You know what the difference was? Matt Rule would get on the press conference and tell us a bunch of bullshit, but Frank Reich tells the truth even if it makes him look like a fucking idiot. And that's what, like, it's like, dude, you don't tell the reporters that you made the wrong decision there. Like, that you second guessed yourself. It just looks really bad. I mean,
I heard a quarterback or a head coach. He was a Panther coach. I just can't remember who it was. Maybe somebody else does. But I remember a head coach saying the reason why he kicked it on 4th was because we went for it on 1st down and we failed. We went for it on 2nd down and we failed. We went for it on 3rd down and we failed. So why do you think we would make it on 4th down?
All right.
Yeah, I think that was Ron Rivera.
Flip the coin and you make a choice. My personal opinion, though, I would have went for it on 4th down because if half of my staff, including the special teams guys, coach, and my own kicker tells me I can't kick it that far, I'm going to believe him.
If we were gonna kick the field goal, we might as well have ran the ball a couple more times, get a few yards.
Yeah,
it made no sense to throw the ball 3 times and then now we're just gonna shoot a fucking 60-yard field goal with Eddie. Come on, man.
Just they don't want to run, and it's like, why are you kicking a 59-yarder with short-legged Eddie in the wind in November? You have a better chance at tying the game. You have a better chance at tying the game if you punt the ball back and then just try to stop them with 3 timeouts. But oh wait, he used a timeout because of miscommunication.
The coaching staff doesn't want to do anything.
I believe they want to run.
They just can't.
They can't, and they don't know how to fix it, and they don't know how to fix it because they're not intelligent, and they don't have the right personnel to run the ball.
All right, hey, so look.
Come on, Cody. Let me say one thing, Cody, please.
All right,
please, let me say one thing.
I
got you. I got you. So, are you really believe that on 4th and 10, what do you think Bryce Young would have done? He would have threw it fucking 7 yards and try to let the man run or something like this, or got sacked with his slow drop back. Come on, man! Like, the man knows what he sees, bro. He's seeing what he sees, and he knows. The man been playing football since the fucking 70s, bro.
Right, but hold up. That's not even really the point. The point is that you traded up to number 1 for a quarterback, where on 4th down, you don't trust him with the ball in his hands.
They really don't. They show you time and time again that they really don't. They show you time and time again that they really don't.
Remember the Aaron
Well, it's funny you say that because we actually converted a 4th down. He ran it for like 10 yards.
Wait. Let me introduce some people and filter some people in. First up, we got the homie Strats back in the free for all. Strats, sorry it's taking so long. What's up, dude?
No worries. How you guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How you doing? And also, hey, I really want to have this Bryce Young discussion with this next guy because he's been in the chat room for a long time, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. Nigel, what's up, dude?
What's up? I joined the stream already hearing the Bryce slander, and I'm just not with it right now. So
all right, well, look, man, I'm gonna go right to you. What Bryce slander are you hearing that is not fair. So, for example, if B&D's say that Bryce has been the reason why we've lost some games this year, you tell me why that is not a fair statement.
Okay. First of all, Bryce Young, can y'all really expect Bryce Young to even play good under a shitty team like this, under a shitty organization like this? That's the first question we should be asking. First of all, because why would anybody think Bryce would be talented enough to play against a receiver core that's so shit? Like, we had the worst receiving core in the fucking league. We're not even using his personnel right. Like, Bryce has never played. Like, we're not even using the right fucking, like, the play calling is trash. Is everything, bro. Like, everything under, like, so I don't understand why fans are trying to compare Bryce and CJ or Bryce and Will Levis. Will Levis had one good game, and that
He had a great game.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a great game. But also, why don't you think that it's unfair? Or why do you think it's unfair for us to compare Bryce against the other rookie quarterbacks that were drafted in this class, especially when Bryce was drafted over all of them? And by the way, to your point, before you answer that, right now, believe it or not, the Tennessee Titans have one of the worst ranked offensive lines in football. Now, you may not believe it, but according to certain statistics, they are worse in pass protection, believe it or not, than the Carolina Panthers. And then you still have Will Levis making plays like he did. So I'm not saying that he's a bust. I'm saying, why is it not fair to compare him to other rookies that are having a high level of success right now?
Because Bryce doesn't. Okay. So you use Will Levis and his. All right. Does Bryce Young Does Bryce Young have DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins is not the same DeAndre Hopkins, though.
Well,
okay,
but he touchdowns that game or two.
That one game.
Understand this though.
That was his big game.
DeAndre Hopkins,
the only game,
would be WR1 in this team. Would he not?
Yeah, I'll say he would.
Okay then. So basically, to back that up, Will Levis has DeAndre Hopkins. So just imagine what Will Levis. Just imagine if Hopkins was on the Carolina Panthers, bro. Bryce Young would have a better game.
Nigel, let me help you out, bro.
I wanted to sign Hopkins, man. I'm a Clemson fan. I wanted that more than anyone.
Nigel, let me help you out here real quick, bro. Let me help you out. The reason Bryce Young is not succeeding is because he went to the Carolina Panthers.
Exactly.
If he was, what's gonna happen is that he'll have to compete for a job after he's done here, and then he'll probably end up being a solid quarterback because he goes to a competent organization. I've been bringing up this example. No one wants to hear it. Everyone called Baker Mayfield so bad last year, and he goes to a team that won only 8 games.
Man, get that bullshit out of here, bro.
With the GOAT, and he's top 15 in every metric.
So Baker actually chokes when it's important. So he's not really the best example, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about statistically. He's been a top 15 quarterback. So I'm more willing to blame the organization for Bryce's flaws. But here's the thing, Nigel. Bryce has lost some games, and there's no taking away from that. I think I go back to this point, though. The organization was trying to win this year with a rookie, and since he's made a lot of these mistakes, like who was saying it earlier on the 4th and 10, they probably didn't trust him there because their jobs are on the line. And that's why I said if you were trying to win from the beginning, you should have probably just started Andy Dalton or gone after Derek Carr. But that's not what they did.
They tried to do that, but they didn't have it happen.
Well, hey, I'm going to read a comment, and then I'm going to introduce somebody, all right? Red, White, and Bills, who's been great. And this is pretty much what I believe, and this is why I'm disappointed, man. Some quarterbacks need everything around them, and that's okay. Like Tua, for example. When you're physically limited, you need a lot of players around you. Miami Dolphins are the perfect example. They have speed receivers that can get the yak yards everywhere. They have a good old line. They have a good play caller.
They have a good running game.
Right, and they can run the ball. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. Weapons everywhere. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. I mean, all these incredible players, and they have a quarterback that's also shorter and doesn't have the necessary arm talent, and he's balling out. Bryce Young is the perfect Mike Shanahan style quarterback, but we don't have the type of pieces around him. And I feel like it's harder, that it takes a little longer to build around that style of quarterback. So now I'm going to pass it to the man. I'm going to pass it to the man who has been Bryce Young's number one defender. Oh, hold on. You need some microphones though, G, because our audio. Damn. G, hold up. Gee, I'm gonna put you in the background. You need some headphones, my guy.
Wait a minute.
That's the answer, y'all. That's
Cody.
the answer. We should trade Bryce Young to the 49ers for Sam Darnold. That's our answer right there.
I got a question for G,
that's what
though.
we should do.
He's Bryce's number one fan, but why didn't he start him in fantasy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too. It's like he almost accepted his defeat this week.
All right, let me see if my man's available. Nope. Yo, you had to fix that microphone, G. Tell me when you got it fixed. I'm gonna bring Jake the Snake back in until meantime. But I mean, this is my deal, though, man. Like, I don't think Bryce is a bust. I'm disappointed that we traded up to the number one overall pick and didn't get the quarterback that was physically superior with the bigger arm, more mobile, gets the ball out of his hand fast. I just felt he was a superior prospect. Now that's over. That's said and done with, though. How do you build around Bryce to be able to make him successful? Go ahead, Stratz.
Gotta spoon feed him. He's a baby, bro. Spoon.
Your name must be Strats too.
You gotta build that. You gotta build the offensive line. Pass protect.
There's a lot of Strats.
Gotta build the offensive line.
I would say we definitely need something's going on with the offensive line. I don't understand how. And the other thing, I guess it's not that important, but have you seen Bozeman on Twitter? No. She's been lighting some people up when I think someone responded to one of her posts and was just like, he said one word, it was block, and she's like, block you? Okay. And it's like, well, I mean, he's not saying anything that we don't know, but yeah, we definitely
don't piss off the wife.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have an abysmal performance like this, listen, you're just opening yourself up to. What do you want us to encourage to be? Oh, I'm so happy we've lost every game except for one. You guys are so good.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry about that.
When you're seeing the names on the back of the jersey and the defensive line is going after Bryce. Good luck. I mean, the line needs to help out a little bit, and that's where we got to build up. Gotta build up front.
Oh, I think I know what's happening, Pickle. If you're on an Android phone, there's something with Android phones where they're like doing this echo thing. I don't know what the hell is going on, bro. It might not even be your fault. It might be some StreamYard shit. I'm not sure, man. If anybody's on an Android phone, you might have some issues. See, watch. I'm gonna unmute G, and it's gonna be just my voice. Hearing myself talk to myself. All right. Anyway.
So all we have to do is basically get a top 10 receiver, another top 10 receiver, top 10 offensive line, top 10 running back, and we're good.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening. It's time to sell Bryce off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we need a stacked team for him to be legit.
And that's what Tua has.
I'm just saying pass protection, offensive line. We need to build the offensive line. I didn't say this, and this, but it would be nice to get some pieces. We do have a lot of salary cap. To sign some guys, we could bring out the Brinks truck for a few guys, big names.
I don't see that happening with Fitterer here. I just don't see him doing any.
Right, he'll probably get fired though.
Absolutely not.
He'll probably get fired.
If Fitterer doesn't do good this offseason, he's getting fired.
No, he's getting fired fucking soon. No, fuck the offseason. That dude should have been get fired. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you are having, if you do draft a rookie quarterback and you don't even plan, like, that's the thing, man. He's not set up for success here at this point. And it's like, I don't trust this dysfunctional organization to put some pieces around him in any aspect. So like at this point, yeah, it's not gonna go good, man. It's just
And
not.
let me ask my man Nigel, since we have him in here, what do you think of fans that are saying that they want to bench Bryce and that it's time to see Andy Dalton and give him an opportunity to see what he can do in this offense?
Man, the season's already over. We're 9 games in, bro. At this point, bro, it really doesn't matter if we bench him or not, bro. Like, the season's over. So, I mean, if you mean from, like, a development point, like, letting Bryce sit and learn, I just don't feel like I feel like that would be better, to be honest, than letting him, like, destroy his confidence out in the field. That's what I do agree on, but, like, saying, like, everything is, like, like his fault, because this really is easy to blame Bryce Young in this situation. It's easy to point fingers. I feel like that's what a lot of fans do, to be honest. But like, you can't really blame him when he doesn't really have a good supporting cast around him. So, that's
Nigel.
Hey,
I'll
Coach,
push back
can I say
though.
something
He
real
has played bad in some games. He's lost us.
yeah.
He's lost to some games. Like we have to keep it 100. He hasn't played good, but I'll stand on this though.
Yeah, like the
This
Colts
organization is
game.
so dysfunctional. I can't trust any. Like, go back to Pickle's point. I just really can't see what other quarterback, besides for maybe 2 of them, would be able to thrive in this situation. I just really can't at this point. You can throw Dalton out there, but
Yo, Anthony, I know it sounds like I just love tearing Bryce down, but I tell you what, I know a lot of people keep saying this whole don't let it destroy his confidence, man. I think that kid still has guts of steel, though. I don't think anything shakes him or gets him off his noggin. Like, I think he's always laser focused. He knows what he wants to do. Whether he's able to do, or whether the whole offense is able to execute or not, is beyond the point. But I don't think nothing gets that kid off his game. I tell you that, or anything shakes him. Like,
Yeah.
y'all
Hey,
keep
that is
saying
true.
maybe we should bench him. That too. Sorry, Cody. One last thing. Like I said, nothing shakes him. I think we should play him. I think that's his best experience. We invested a lot. We need to continue in Bryce.
okay. So if we invested a lot, then what is so wrong with saying that he needs some help? What is so wrong with saying that
I don't think anybody says that.
Yeah, nobody said
offensive line-
he didn't need help.
the offensive line could be better? I mean, man, I would like
What?
some. I mean, it
Yo,
seems like our
Cody,
best
you was about to
receiver,
ask me a question.
our best receiver that can stretch the
No.
field is Mike Strachan or whoever the guy is.
Yeah, Mike Strahan. Yeah, they threw it to him once.
Was I the only one who was like, who is that?
Hang on. No, there was another thing I wanted to bring up to y'all, right? And it's about this staff just being absolutely inept in every way possible, man. God, where did I find? Oh, no, I gotta bring it up. But Amir, the guy that had the kickoff return touchdown, right? So look,
man receiver.
So look, this is the dumbest shit in the world to me, right? And y'all tell me if I'm crazy on this. But Emir Smith-Marset had a 79-yard punt return. It was the only touchdown of the night for the Carolina Panthers. And yet he hasn't been able to see the field because of the bum-ass wide receivers in front of him. Like, what are you talking about, dude? This is embarrassing, man. Like,
where's he at on the depth chart?
Dude, he was on. He had one offensive snap. That was 2% of the total snaps that the Panthers had, dude.
If it's at the bottom, that comment is cutting it off, so it's hard.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean,
it's right. He's right at the bottom. Emir Smith-Marset. Dude, this is embarrassing, man. If he is a speed element to your offense, why are you not putting him on the field?
What are we lacking?
Thomas Brown.
We are lacking receivers and
Thomas.
Go ahead, Pickle. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Thomas Brown said in his post-game presser not in post-game, in a press conference after Marset made that comment that the reason why he isn't getting more offensive plays is because of the excellent performance that Mingo is showing in practice. That's exactly Thomas Brown's comment. When asked directly why Marset isn't getting more plays on the offense when we need receivers with speed, Thomas Brown's response was because Mingo is playing so good in practice.
Yeah,
Pickle.
so dumb.
You-
Hold that thought. Dominate with the 999 says Bozeman has regressed dramatically. We might need a new center also. Damn.
Start
what?
the backup.
Let me
We
say,
for
I
sure need a new center.
I want to bring something up. I think a lot of these players, like, they're just not playing in the scheme that fits them. And the second
Exactly.
thing I want to say is I don't give a fuck about the whole. I've been hearing a lot of that. I'm glad Pickle brought that up. I've been hearing a lot of, well, this player, we're having a great week of practice. Well, guess what? You ain't having a great week on the actual field. And at this point, like, I know JJ says this all the time. Wide receiver is the most seamless position. I'm about done seeing Jonathan Mingo run routes out there, man. And same with Terrace Marshall. Those guys seem lost out there. Like, they don't even know what to do at all.
When TMJ dropped that first down, I was about to throw the remote at the TV. It's like, come on, the easy ones right there. And same with the penalties. Come on. I know I'm not the only one who's tired of seeing the yellow on the field, bro. Because
Penalties,
it's getting
that's
so
coaching.
frustrating.
That's coaching.
Yeah, that's all
Like,
coaching.
that's not is that just coaching, but our whole game plan on offense, it gets neutralized by penalties. Well, our whole identity is we're gonna go bit by bit down the field and execute perfectly and beat everybody man on man. And yet it's like one penalty, boom, the drive is over, bro. Like, y'all remember when we started on the 40 and then it was like 1st and 30 on our own 40 after that? Like, that was some bullshit.
Yeah.
Bro, and Tony said, oh, we're about to fuck it up, or this and that, or we should take a field goal. You know what I told myself? We ain't gonna do nothing with it. It was like excellent field position. I was like, man, we ain't doing nothing with this.
Yes, and we have like little
shit like
margin
that.
for error. Like, we can't be having penalties, especially with all the
Did it not
offensive.
say that? Yo, because Cody will always say this team can't survive injuries, as we were already getting injured before the season started. I was like, man, I felt like if JC Horn, Burns, or Bryce didn't have a great game, we didn't have a chance in any of these games.
Yeah.
If I may add real quick.
Now we got penalties.
The Panthers had a center once who in one game he had 4 false start penalties. He was benched the rest of that game and the game after that. The head coach, John Fox, said, it's called discipline. Without discipline, you're nothing. The very next day, or the week after that, Ryan Clear returned as a starter, and he didn't have that many penalties after that. Sometimes it's the coach's responsibility to bench a starter because you have no discipline.
Remember Vernon Davis?
Yep, I do. See, that you got to have discipline, and if your coach don't show the players
Frank Reich is a rollover.
They're not going to learn it on their own.
Frank Reich is a substitute teacher, bro. Nobody give a fuck about you.
That's why I think
Cody, you should have brought this up. Cody,
hold on. I'll let Strats and then Ant. Go ahead, Strats.
Thanks. I was listening to, I think it was ESPN today, and a few of them are talking about coaches, and they continuously get their facts wrong, probably because they don't really know them that well. But they said something like how, we should keep this coach for a little bit longer because it's been a revolving door. But that's not really been the case. Tepper got rid of Rivera pretty quickly, and then Cam followed, and then he had Rule for far too long. He should have been gone the end of that second season, not continuing into the third. And then with Wilkes, it was hasty, and he got rid of him quick. And then now, with everything coming out about how things look so similar to what was going on in Indy, it's just clear that there's no motivation, and you need the general to be motivating the officers, and then they motivate the enlisted underneath them. But that's not what's happening here. So the only way to get this right is, unfortunately, I think, to get rid of Frank. And maybe there's like someone said a few weeks ago, an admin position for him where he's more like behind a desk kind of thing. That's perfect, because he's a good guy, but he's not an admiral. There's no way he is.
And I just don't want to get away from also, we just don't have talent.
Yeah,
We don't.
and that's why my public enemy number one is Scott Fitterer in the front office. Because let's be real, he has been the only through line for the past 3 years now. I've been saying I am done giving him the benefit of the doubt for Matt Rule being here and Matt Rule having the final say so on all things with roster control. To me, that's not an excuse anymore. You have been the leader of the Carolina Panthers front office.
Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
Cody, I'm not gonna lie. I can't let you live this shit down. I'll never forget when we traded for the first overall pick and I joined the stream. You said, "Is this now the point where Scott Fitter's in the argument for best general manager in the NFL?" And you
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
Everyone said
In
that
the
at the time because they were
NFL or
hyping
for
it
the
up. They didn't
Panthers?
realize the
No,
fucking-
you said in the
No,
NFL.
not everyone said that, Stats.
all on Twitter, yes. All on
Oh.
Laser
No,
Eyes,
no.
the Fitterer Laser Eyes.
Right.
Yes,
I ain't
everyone
never
said
called that
on
man the
fucking Twitter.
best in the NFL. He ain't
The
done
laser,
shit to be
oh
the
yeah,
best
the
in
laser eyes
the
were
NFL.
funny.
Chalk
They
it
were
up to
dude-
people trying to be hype about their own team and being positive, even if they didn't want certain things to play out the way they did. We all kind of took it in stride and said, okay, here's where we're at. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna be positive.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
didn't
can't
want-
be positive with this many losses.
And by the
I
way,
did-
on the free for all, I bring questions to let y'all bullshit, man. Like y'all tell me, I'm just trying to bring shit to get y'all to talk about.
Nah,
I
you said
denied that I never called him the best GM in the NFL. Maybe I asked y'all if he was, but I mean, look at all the guys that are out the door: Hassan Reddick, Stephon Gilmore, now DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. Like the only way that he could have laid claim to that is if he hit on the right quarterback.
Yo, let me
Right
say
now,
that real
I don't
quick.
feel like he did, but
I was-
time will tell.
I
Those
never
two you
wanted to
just
trade
named,
up, but like I
bro,
was happy
those are
with
the
first
two
pick.
we miss the most right now. DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey, man.
Yep.
We miss those two
Oh,
so
yeah.
fucking much.
Yeah, that's all.
We
Yeah,
can
we-
use
we-
those two right now.
But
Yeah,
they were
dude,
replaceable. Remember,
miss
they
Hassan
were
Reddick.
replaceable.
Yeah,
miss Hassan
Cody, they
Reddick.
were
I miss Hassan
replaceable.
Reddick the most.
We got
Hell
Miles
yeah, I
Sanders,
miss Hassan Reddick.
DJ Chark.
Um,
Man, we don't fucking need Hassan Reddick, man.
They
We
were
need
they
DJ
were
Moore.
replaced.
definitely do need him.
He was our best pass rusher.
Can I say this?
Man, get out of here.
Two things. Yeah, no, those dudes were not replaceable at all because DJ Moore would be able to take these dink
Sure.
and dunk passes for hella yak yards. Two, Frank Reich. You didn't talk about this, Cody. Frank Reich now leads Vegas odds in the first coach to be fired at plus 175, and he hasn't
Oh, I
been on
didn't
the
even
list
see
all.
that.
He hasn't been on the list all year, which means they know
Well,
something we
first
don't.
coach.
Which means he's cooked. That's honestly.
Josh
No,
McDaniels was there.
in my opinion, Anthony, it's just strictly I saw that today too. In my opinion, the reason why he jumped that fast up to the top was because of Thursday night football, and everybody actually had to watch it. They actually saw the same thing we've been seeing for weeks. Before
That's a good
that, they've
point.
never seen it.
I told you earlier.
All they do is watching Sunday, and they have multiple games they're watching at the same time. They don't pay attention to them.
Well, and put it
You
this
may
way,
be
those-
right.
I
You
told you the
honestly may be
ESPN
right.
people that are supposed to cover the Panthers, they get shit wrong all the time. They said 5 coaches since Tepper's on the team. It's not like they don't know all this detail, and especially when you go higher up, where
Bro,
it's
they
more
all
broad
think
stroke,
we
they don't know what
earned
the
the
hell we're
first
talking about.
overall pick.
Yeah.
It's like they're all like, oh, so do the Panthers get Caleb Williams? I'm like, bro, oh my god, y'all just thought we just earned the first overall pick. It's like y'all just forget a trade happened and everything.
Yeah, that's
Like,
some dumb shit going on.
I
in
do-
social media, man.
And it's not just one show. It's almost every show outside the Panthers.
Yep.
Or
But hey, real quick, before we go any further, man, before we continue this discussion, I want to give a shout out to our best and brightest sponsor that has been sponsoring the C3 Panthers podcast for a long time now. You already know them. A lot of you already love them. It's PrizePicks.com, baby. C3 Nation has been winning money playing daily fantasy sports for Prize Picks. I want to urge everybody to download Prize Picks. Use promo code C3 when you use the link below or when you sign up using that promo code C3. All first-time users that deposit and use our C3 promo code receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. That's right. If you deposit 100, Prize Picks will give you 100. If you deposit 50, Prize Picks will give you 50. C3 Nation has been making money playing daily fantasy sports. I'm going to let y'all in on what I'm looking at this Sunday, man. No Panthers, so a little bit less stress. This is what I got so far. I did an all more ticket, man, because I feel like every time I go more, that's when I hit big. I got Deshaun Watson. Even though they're playing Baltimore, I got Deshaun at over 189.5. CJ Stroud versus Houston at more than 255.5.
Versus the
Jordan Addison. Yep. Jordan Addison at more than 50.5 receiving yards, and Taysom Hill at more than 23.5 rushing yards. Is there any one of those picks that y'all are like, yo, Cody, that's not the one?
Who's CJ playing?
Jordan Addison.
The Bengals.
I can see a letdown game with CJ.
I don't like the Deshaun Epstein pick, but that's just me.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Addison one because he's got a new quarterback.
Yeah, but
it is JJ fault. It is JJ fault all the way. Fuck JJ. Nah, fuck you, JJ. Oh, stop.
Hey, Jordan Addison's new quarterback is better than his old quarterback.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison has a fucking bro. Jordan Addison had a rookie wide receiver. He has the best rookie wide receiver season I've ever seen in years. Like it is not even been.
Yo, Cody,
yes.
Can't talk anymore. Yo, Jacob, you're banned from talking. You can't speak.
Let's fight. Now let's fight. Fuck you.
You can't fucking talk right now, man.
Hey, dude, look. Let me. Hey, man, look. I put in my entry. Hold on. I put in my entry. Go to PrizePicks.com. Use promo code C3 when you sign up. Like we said, 100% instant deposit match up to $100. If you deposit 100, Prize Picks will give you 100. If you deposit 50, Prize Picks will give you 50. If you want to support the C3 Panthers podcast, supporting our sponsors is always the best way to do so. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. Yeah, dude.
Go
ahead.
So basically what you're saying is fuck JJ. It's basically what you're saying. Fuck JJ. And fuck South Carolina Gamecocks at the same time.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, Lord. Tell him, Cody. Tell him, Cody.
Here we go.
Why do you say fuck me for?
That's what
my 50 Cent voice.
Hey, are you marching Sunday, Kevin? Are you marching Sunday?
Hell no, I'm staying in Charleston. I'm not driving all the way.
They also said they said they're supposed to.
Hey, Kelly, bro.
On Sunday, it's supposed to be raining cats and dogs.
Oh man, hello. That's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if I want to be out there, man. That's right by me too, man. But I don't know, dude. This is tough, man. I mean, we've never been down as bad as we are right now, man.
I'm wondering if we'll win another game this year.
Since Jimmy Clausen, since Jimmy Clausen's never been this bad.
Is worse. No, this is worse, Jake.
No, I wouldn't disagree. I would not disagree.
Jimmy Clausen year, bro.
And I wouldn't disagree. I'm not disagreeing.
Next year, Cam Newton was the offensive rookie of the year, and it led the draft at Cam Newton. He broke records. Dude, to me, like the amount of sustained despair that the Carolina Panthers have been going through, it's unprecedented, man, in the history of our organization. Yeah, man, dude.
I got a question for you, Cody, and everyone.
Yeah, go ahead, Stretch.
So here's my question then. Pretend you're in that locker room. You're, I don't know, towel boy, whatever it is. But you're in that locker room, you can hear everything. You know what's going on with a lot of stuff. What percentage of the team is actually embarrassed by what they've done or how they've played?
All of them. Everyone except Adam Thielen.
It doesn't look like that, because don't you think they would be stepping up more? Because they don't
a lot
really
of
seem
them.
to.
Strats, I hear you, man. It does not. I mean, outwardly, it does not seem like very many players are taking a lot of pride in the performances.
I wouldn't say that. When they're on camera, they,
I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but I mean, for example, Dante Jackson played very well last night. I mean, Dante Jackson was the best player.
He looked awesome.
Of that game, yeah, dude. Dante Jackson has at least 2 or 3 games every year where he flies around and outplays that kind of stigma that Panther Nation has put on him. But it's not all players. I tell you what, Jonathan Mingo, that rook runs the laziest routes that I've maybe ever seen since Kelvin Benjamin, dude.
I think it's worse than
That is
season.
embarrassing.
What about that corner? What about that corner we brought out there? I've never heard of.
I didn't know a lot of those players.
I think Boodle's been playing very well.
Yeah,
he do.
Good.
If I may speak real quick about Dante Jackson, I remember when he was drafted as a rookie and how he kind of disrespected Luke and TD to their face and Shaq, and I remember that. And I heard him talk on a post game today through Carolina Blitz anyway, and I was so much impressed. He actually sounded like Luke and TD did years ago, just his comments and his politeness. And they asked him, the reporter kind of pushed him, wanted to know about how do you feel about playing so great for the offense to let you down. And he said, man, we're all teammates here, and we all have to strive and be good, and we have to work with each other and help each other. And he went on this speech about how we're a team here, and we're not going to be divided. And I was really impressed by that. I just had to shout that out because Dante Jackson grew up a little bit, and I'm really impressed by that. Compared to years ago.
Hey, Pickle, hold on. I think we just found out the answer on why he got paid instead of Gilmore.
Why is that?
He started to be the nice guy. David Tepper was like, he nice.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I
still wouldn't have paid him. I personally still would have paid Gilmore before I paid him, but that's me.
Same.
But Gilmore wasn't as nice and soft spoken as Dante apparently.
Hey, so David Tepper has it in for the soft-spoken type, is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe Gilmore just didn't suck up.
Dante realized he had to be a yes man
to the owner, like Dante Jackson did.
I mean, Gilmore didn't really talk that much.
No,
he's almost like Peppers. Like I've never really heard him speak.
Yeah, but
by the way, so since we're talking about March on Mint and all these different things, now this video is making the rounds again of David Tepper talking. Yeah, and did you see this of David Tepper talking to Panther Nation?
If you're in a basement right now tweeting, come out of the basement, come upstairs, and get in the light of day. If you're in a basement right now tweeting.
By the way, notice how Nicole Tepper tries to shut him up. Be like, hey, stupid. Maybe don't talk to your fans that way.
Come out of the basement, come upstairs, and get in the light of day.
She's like, get away from the camera, dumbass.
Hey, they're going to be coming upstairs on Sunday, huh? They're going to be marching.
No basements in Carolina.
Them people in basements is coming after your bald-headed ass.
Oh, dude.
Coming to the stadium.
That ignorant fuck sounds like my dad, man. That shit pisses me off.
Cody, if I may say something real quick, there's a couple posts going around on Twitter, and I want folks to understand, don't believe everything you read. Some of this is no validity to it. It says that the Panthers went after T. Higgins and Devontae Adams and tried in vain to trade for
their agents begged
for
them.
Montez Sweat before he agreed to go with the Bears. There's no proof of that at all. Don't believe everything you read just because some fans are trying to push buttons to get you
Do
mad.
you
about
have that?
something else.
Do you have that pickle? Can you send it to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to me either direct or in one of our
Yeah, I'll send.
thousand
I'll
different
hunt up
chats.
the original post and not.
So wait, what were they saying that the Panthers tried to get Devontae Adams and T. Higgins?
Yeah.
One or
I
the
think
other.
that we tried.
They
we
were
tried
probably trying to get
trade
one or
deadline.
the other.
I mean, would that surprise you? Like, does that seem?
Yeah, it would. Does it look like they? I mean, okay, Cody. Let me ask you this: from all that you
I would
already
have been
know,
happy as hell.
from all that you already know, what do you suppose they were going to trade for him?
I mean, I'm assuming probably the second round this year.
I mean,
and
here's my
future draft capital next year.
here's my opinion, and I honestly I believe this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe this. I believe.
Go ahead, Pick.
Anyway, I was
You
I
old
was just
fucker.
but I believe that Scott Fitterer may have made a phone call and said, "Would you be interested in a player?" Oh, not Brian Burns, another player. No, well, okay, you have a great day, and hang up. I have no doubt of that. Scott Fitterer thinks too high of our players that nobody in the entire NFL thinks that high about. He thinks Dante Jackson is a top elite corner that everybody's begging for. Everybody's like, no, not really.
Well, his evaluations are clearly off if he traded the best running back in the entire league and then got rid of the only wide receiver we have. I mean, any picks that he has had have not turned out well either. So he can't manage his way out of a paper bag.
Whoa, hold on.
Twitter.
No.
Yes.
He was not the only one who misevaluated CMC and DJ Moore. Because a lot of y'all motherfuckers under.
Oh, no, you're right.
Well,
Tepper's probably right there over his shoulder.
We're allowed to do that.
Nah.
You paid me $1 million.
Oh, I hated the CMC trade. I thought it was god awful.
Bro, oh my god, yo, Kevin, I was sick as fuck that day. Yo, I thought I had some dangerous, and man, I felt like I was dying.
Did we even use any of those picks from that
And
trade?
then CMC got.
Yeah, we got DJ Johnson with it.
That's it.
And
Bryce.
We traded one extra pick to move up to DJ Johnson, and I went off on Twitter over that shit today.
Oh, so hold on, Pickle. They're saying, I mean, again, I'm just finding this on Twitter. Apparently, the source was David Newton from ESPN.
Oh shit!
They said the Panthers went after Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins and Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams before the trade deadline, but neither team was willing to deal. They also made a run at Commanders edge rusher Montez Sweat. By the way, Montez Sweat, not built to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's definitely a 4-3 defensive end. So here we go again, trying to fit square pegs into round holes. But, dude, if this is true, they're making it sound like the Raiders and the Bengals didn't want to trade.
Young being on
I don't think this is
hitting a square
I
into
think
a round
this
hole.
is Panthers on tap hitting Newton up to ask Newton if it's true, because I sent you on your PM the original post put out by Panthers Nation, and it says the Panthers went after T. Higgins and Devontae Adams before the trade deadline, according to the NFL, but neither team was willing to deal. They also made a run at Washington Commanders edge rusher Montez Sweat to pair him up with Burns, but he was traded to the Bears in exchange for a 2024 second round.
Yeah, this one right here.
See, I mean, that right there, there's no real source according to the NFL. Now, if y'all follow the NFL, there's a lot of NFLs that post on people, and that NFL what? Does it say Ian Rappaport? Nope.
Well, I mean, the other one said David Newton. Again, I'm not saying that is true. I'm gonna do some more investigating.
I'm just saying,
I'm gonna see if I can. Right, I'm gonna see if I can find every. Or I'm gonna see if I can find the David Newton tweet.
Yeah. Why you do that? I'm gonna go off about something. Look, folks, I understand if you don't like DJ Johnson. That's your prerogative, okay? It really is. And we gave up one extra pick to move up one round to get him. And I wouldn't have done that trade at all because I think we have too many needs to blow a pick to get an extra player. Nonetheless, DJ Johnson, it ain't his fault he got drafted a round or two higher than he should have, okay? And he's doing the best he can, and I think he's actually doing decent. I'm comparing him quite a bit to the 6th round pick from a year ago, Mario Barno, as far as player-wise, not necessarily skill set. Now, here's my point. If you are going to defend Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo because they're rookies and they need to learn, don't criticize DJ Johnson. That's incompetently ass-backward stupidness.
Well,
and if you don't like that, too fucking bad.
He's getting
Here's the thing,
more
they're
playing time than Brandon Smith.
DJ Johnson doesn't play.
They're rookies, and sure, it's their first year, but you expect to see them do like one cool thing at least in this amount of games. And I'm not seeing a single thing that Mingo's really done at all.
I agree with you 100%. That's my point.
There was one good play versus the Houston Texans, and really that's been about it. Like there's not been a lot to hang your hat on. And listen, where it's the most embarrassing is the way he starts his route. Like coming out of his stance, the man is just like he's barely even jogging, dude. It's legit. I'm gonna see if I can find the clip.
Did you see that one? Are you talking about that clip, Cody, where someone took a clip from him against, I think it was like the Saints game, and then a clip from like the Colts game?
Yeah.
And he was like, he walks 5 feet and then he pauses for literally like a second and then goes to the left.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and find it, dude. Mingo, dude. We've been doing Mega Mingo on the Tuesday night show, where if we have like a bingo board, and if we get a bingo, we're gonna give somebody, one of our super fans, who pays $1.99 a month, we're gonna give them a Jonathan Mingo jersey. Well, I had to suggest to Tony, I'm like, yeah, we might need to give out a different jersey other than Jonathan Mingo. I don't know who's craving the Jonathan Mingo jersey right now. But, dude, when that is your second round wide receiver, keep in mind how many other second round wide receivers are currently playing well for other football teams. And yet the Panthers guy doesn't look good at all.
Oh, Scott Fitber.
What jerseys would you give away though? Like, who's worth getting right now?
Can I go? How about you?
Brown is dope.
I tell you what, I would take a Hecker jersey. I would take a Hecker jersey.
What's up? Yeah,
I
you're
would
right.
take a Hecker jersey.
Brown has been pretty damn good.
Johnny Hecker.
I would take a Chuba jersey, Chuba Hubbard jersey if it's free.
A JJ Jansen? What about JJ?
No, fuck JJ Jansen. Fuck JJ. JJ's the long snapper. I know people love long snappers. I have no. Fuck that.
How about the guy who
got the kick return? And I've actually got it in the private chat. It's off my Twitter account. Click on it for me if you will. I want to show something. It's through Twitter, so I think it's okay. I want to ask somebody the same thing I asked him on Twitter today.
Cody, I can't find the double video, but I put one in the link in chat.
Oh, you did? You found it?
One of them, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Pickle.
You're good. If you evaluate, if you look at both this year's draft class and the last year's draft class, tell me somebody you would still draft at that particular area.
The only somewhat good draft Scott Fitter had was 2021 when we got J.C. Horn, Chuba Hubbard, Tommy Tremble, and
dude, look at this
someone else.
So look, this is Jonathan Mingo. Dude, no, look at Jonathan Mingo. Bro, what the fuck are you doing, dog?
What are you waiting for?
I mean,
he does the exact same. I can't find it. He does this exact same thing, exactly the same from like the Saints game.
Because this is why I don't get why people like compare Bryce against other rookie quarterbacks, because look at what Bryce's receivers are doing, and look at what all the other rookie wide receivers are doing right now. The same.
And if I may add briefly to that,
Did he do that at
to
Old
me,
Miss?
and
Like,
a lot of this,
like, is this new?
yeah, a lot of this is a lack of quality training by the wide receivers coach.
I would think that
To me, this is
right.
directly responsible by the wide receivers coach.
Well, I mean,
Because, you know, but
yeah, but it's their fault that this is acceptable and that this continues to happen. If you're his coach, I'm sorry. Why are you not chewing his ass out in the room, being like, bro,
I mean,
I don't know what you thought, but this is not what you were drafted to do, man. Like,
what if you told him to run that way?
Dude, then that's even more.
And they would laugh at him on the sideline.
No. Like, what if they honestly, the coaches were like, "Oh yeah, do that. All right, this is what I want you to," because they have to walk through some of these plays, and they did. He did it. If it's not one time, he did it twice, exactly the same twice. And that
like
kind of shows me it must be a coach that's like, this is how you should run this play.
Who the coach?
It'd be like Impractical Jokers.
Whole Panthers coaching staff is
Just
bunch
because I
of
want to
vanilla.
know now.
Just run vanilla offense, bro.
Well, I don't know enough about.
Oh, Sean Jefferson.
that was-
This is the guy. This explains a lot, y'all. This is the guy who used to be the wide receivers coach for the Oh, okay, no, he what? I thought he was for the Rams, but he's not. He spent 17 years as an NFL assistant, working with the Lions, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Cardinals. He was the Cardinals' assistant head coach for the last 13 seasons. In 13 seasons as a player with the Chargers. Okay, so all right. Anyway, so but it's Sean Jefferson. So
you found the double video.
Yeah, I found the one of Jonathan Mingo against the Saints.
Yeah.
Dude, look how stupid this is. Look, this is Jonathan Mingo right here. Look at the same dumb little stutter step he does. Like, bro, what are you doing, Grandma? What are you? Oh my, dude, it's making me mad looking at it. Like, bro, what are you saying? Look how slow he goes.
Bro, Lattimore is not even threatened by that.
Yeah, Lattimore doesn't give a damn what he's doing.
Maybe he needs to join the dance off. Maybe that's what
hey, Cody, can you send me
just
that
sitting
clip?
there just watching him, bro.
Yo, Cody, can you send me that clip?
Yep.
I'm gonna need that. I need that shit. That is pathetic. Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Why is Terrace Marshall not starting over him?
I mean, Terrace Marshall's on the field sometimes, but he's a bust.
So that's the thing is last
it's
year.
another
Do you remember
second
though?
round wide receiver bust.
When we had Wilkes, he made some fucking incredible catches last year.
Yeah, that's why we
So
were
how does that
excited.
happen? How does he slide backward and we?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Stats.
I made my point, but like I don't understand how he went from being talked about last year to being fucking. We don't want him.
In my
Maybe
opinion,
Steve
and
Wilkes was able to get more out of him.
Exactly. In my opinion, as far as not just Terrence Marshall, but other players, I think it's a lot to do with motivation. This coaching staff is a nice, polite, let's see if we can't do this type deal. Speaking for my own son,
Dad taking you fishing kind of thing.
Exactly. My own son would respond better to a teacher when they walked up and said, "You're going to do this. You're going to do it right now, and we're not talking about it otherwise." If you're, in reference to coaching, I wonder if Steve Wilkes did the attitude. He says, "Here's your job. Here's what you're going to do. If
Get
you're
it
going to
fucking
succeed
done.
in the NFL, here's what you need to damn do." Just like this. Don't change it the way you want it. And they did it. Because
I think you're right. I think
he
that's
wasn't
his
taking
attitude.
BS.
I think that was.
And
But where do we go from here? If that's the case, then this is larger than what we all think, and it really is not going to change much until we have a different head coach. And I feel bad because the guy's great; he's a nice guy, but geez,
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey,
And
let
that's
me
what's
ask
Too
y'all.
nice.
Let
Too
me
nice.
let me just come out and ask y'all the question.
Yeah.
I feel like now it doesn't even matter if you think Frank Reich should be fired or not. I was one of the people that's been saying practice patience, because if Bryce is the type of if Bryce is getting the leeway of him being on a bad team with the bad O-line, with the bad wide receivers, well, the coaches weren't going to fix all that in one off season, so they're limited to what they can call and the type of personnel that they want. But it seems like that's out the window, man. Like the ball is already rolling right now. There's going to be a fucking march on Mint Street, for God's sake. So I'm just going to point blank ask y'all the question. Are there any names right now that you have on the top of your head for head coach of the Carolina Panthers? Is there someone already that you're looking at? Because I have a name. I have a name.
Jim Harbaugh.
Okay,
He ain't gonna come
He
here.
would
but
yell. He would at least yell. You know that.
Shit. Oh, that was funny as fuck.
I don't think he would come here.
Yeah, but the problem,
was
No,
not
he would never come here.
is,
Harbaugh.
the issue with Harbaugh, if y'all remember, and I forgot about this. I heard it on the radio and reminded me. Last year, Cody, you may remember this. Last year, after we fired Rule, Harbaugh called the Panthers organization, and he wanted to know if they were interested in him because he could fly in for an interview. And they said no. And then he kept calling to want to talk directly with Tepper. Finally, Tepper sent a message that we're not interested and told him not to call back no more.
Well, he ain't doing nothing right now, so call him up.
So, well, that's what I'm saying, though.
He won't
That's
want
my
to. His
point,
pride.
though.
He's got
Th-
pride.
that-
He's not coming here after that shit
He's
happens.
Yeah,
suspended right now.
well, that's my point. And this is a bad outlook for me. For what I don't say this because I said it. I said the opposite earlier. But
Say it.
Would Jim Harbaugh too much for David Tepper,
Yes.
or is David Tepper too much for Jim Harbaugh?
Yes.
They're not compatible
There's another guy that
personality-wise. There's
people
no
are
way.
gonna want.
That is what I've been saying to
Yeah.
everybody that wants Jim Harbaugh. I understand why you want him. I would love to have him, but it's like there's a saying: want in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're not gonna put oil and water together and make them mesh. It seems to me like Jim Harbaugh and David Tepper are oil and water, and it would require David Tepper to change a lot of things
His
about his
entire
own style.
personality.
Yeah, like dude, it doesn't
Hey,
seem
Cody.
like David Tepper would want someone that would be
He wants
as
a Jason
hands-on
Garrett.
and as in control as Jim Harbaugh. That's a
He wants
perfect
a
point.
Jason
Kev.
Garrett.
He wants Jason Garrett,
Yeah.
and that might
Could I
be
address
another
that?
reason. That might be another reason why Fitterer is not
He's
out
still
the
here.
door. Is
I
not
agree
out
with
the
you.
door because Fitterer is the ultimate yes man to David Tepper. If David Tepper says jump, Fitterer says how high, boss.
I've been saying that for how many weeks now, and
Yeah.
we keep talking about Fitterer maybe going, and I keep saying no. Why would he get rid of someone that's going to do exactly like he wants them to do? And then
Yeah.
someone might say something like, "Well, he could bring in someone else," but why would you do that? Because that's a whole rigmarole of having to go and get someone else. He has the person he wants. Why would he get rid of him?
He has his
Yeah.
hog.
Yeah, I where I work at, we have a lot of folks who like to follow the boss around with their tongue hanging out. That must be what Scott Fitterer does.
I don't know.
No,
I
no.
think they have tea time and they celebrate and they talk dumb shit all the time. I think they're actually probably friends. to
Well,
be honest.
Yeah,
it's
maybe so.
clear. I mean, hold on. Y'all remember that video Cody showed just a second ago about David Tepper? Like, it's clear that he makes all the decisions, and by that video, I feel like he not taking the shit serious at all. Like, he says he wants to win, but at the same time, he's not I feel like that came off like, man, like, oh, the team sucks. Well, they'll like go outside or something, like.
Well, that was
figure
at the beginning
something
of the
else
year,
out.
right?
No, I think
I
he
don't know
wants
when
to
that
win. I
was,
really
but it's
do.
just like they always say that because it's gonna make more money. But like really wanting to win, they don't really want to win. They just say that shit, and that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Like
winning is going to bring it. A Super Bowl
he's not
alone is going to
motherfucking
bring it a lot.
not
Yes,
taking
a
this
lot,
shit as
tons.
serious. And it's worrisome, especially because we all know David Tepper's making all the moves around here.
So then let me ask you this. At what point
we
do you
make a
think
trade, if whoever is getting signed, bro, it has to get approved by Tepper.
does Tepper,
Go
if
ahead,
we
Shaq.
finish this season with 1 win or 2 wins or 3 wins, which clearly that's going to happen at this point. It can't be anything. Anyways, if
3
we finish the
wins
season,
seems
is Tepper is he gonna change his the way he does this at all? Will he
No.
ever change 5 years, 10? Let's say he holds the team for 10 years and we lose
Hell
every
no.
single
He's
year.
the
We
rich
win
owner.
1 game. Does he change eventually and go,
No.
shit, maybe I should step back a little bit? Maybe
He
I
don't
should.
have
I
to.
hope so.
No.
I
He don't have to.
I mean,
He doesn't want
according
to
to
win.
I think he does, but JJ, I think he wants to win his way. You know, I think he has a desire to win,
Exactly.
but you
Oh,
have
he
to do
doesn't
it
want to
step
win.
for him.
Exactly. Thank you, Pickle. Thank you.
But
He
he
doesn't
has
want
to.
to win.
He has to lose the ego and understand that sometimes winning requires doing whatever's necessary and not just having things.
He wants his
your way.
fingerprints on it.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, shout out to Nirvash. We appreciate all the super chats. We never ask for money, but they're always appreciated. It's been so frustrating how bad the Panthers have been drafting at wide receiver. I see other teams randomly scooping up good wide receivers in mid rounds. Come on. Nirvash, I hear you, bro. The fact that the Panthers do not draft wide receiver talent well, dude, it's embarrassing,
They don't
man.
draft
We
nothing.
can't
And
draft.
by the way,
I mean, they don't ain't drafted nothing well in 5 years.
and dude, how bad do the Panthers need a player like Marvin Harrison Jr.? They need him so bad.
I have a
If we
quick
had
They
a
need
story
him
about
so
Mingo.
bad,
That's
man.
the
If
player
we had
we're
a
trading
first
up
round
for.
pick, we could have had him.
We can get
If we had
XL
our
in the
first round
second.
This
pick,
guy would
we
save
could have had him.
us.
See, we should have never traded up.
Hey, another $5 from Nirvash says there's a serious. Oh, I've been saying this forever, Nirvash. There's a serious talent evaluation problem with the Panthers franchise. Preach to them. That has transcended several different GMs and regimes. I don't understand. Damn it! I wish I had Tony's
Cody.
soundboard. I'd hit you with the applause right now, Nirvash. The Panthers do not know how
Cody.
to evaluate quarterback talent, and they haven't for years.
Cody, he comes from the Steelers, who know how to evaluate talent. He's the second richest owner in the NFL. You would think he would poach those scouts and those GMs from the Steelers.
Yeah,
I bet he tried and they said no.
yeah. This is
No
we're
problem.
not going with your
Yeah,
ass.
that's
You
the
probably
problem.
had no
If
friends
you
up
wanted
there.
to win, you would do some shit like that.
Well,
But
do you remember something about him calling? What's the head coach this Broncos
Mike
now? He
Tomlin?
was.
Sean Payton.
Do you remember
Payton.
that there was some thing going on where he called supposedly, but then no,
I'm so
hush, hush,
happy
he
he didn't.
Do you remember
I
that?
do it. Yeah, now I do remember
I
something
wish
about
we
that.
had Sean Payton.
Now that you mentioned it, yeah.
no.
And it was reformatted, like the way what he's talking about. He was like, "Oh, I did call, but it was." I mean, he didn't say these words, but it came out that it was like, "No, it was more of a catch-up conversation or whatever." They changed the syntax of what was happening with the conversation.
I'm
So
so
with
happy
that
you
being
give
said,
up.
he probably did call and poach some other people, and then, oops, there's some rules about that. Okay, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, dude, it's it's honestly hilarious to me.
Well, they
man.
broke the rules for the hiring process with Nicole Tepper, with the coaches. Remember?
But,
Oh shit, you're right.
yeah, that is
I
right.
forget how
Huh?
what happened there, but it was something like it was a
She didn't take a course or
secretarial
something?
miscommunication or some shit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me that we just forget about this stuff, and now when you add it on to the pile of already known dog shit about the Panthers and what they've been doing, it's like, God, how did we not recognize that this is going to happen earlier?
One day you need to write a
Facts.
book about all of it,
Facts,
all
Cody.
this shit. Collect everything from the end of you know what? Go all the way back to 2015. Collect all of it, put it in a book, sell it. You're welcome. I'm sure you'll make millions on that one.
Yeah, yeah, dude, that's a New York Times bestseller right there.
That's a Jada
Shit,
Pinkett
man.
Smith book.
Scandals of the Panthers.
Scandals of Panthers buffoonery. Ah, dude, man. And listen, we're gonna do two. So there will be another Friday free for all before we play the Cowboys. So I'm not gonna ask everybody what their
Prediction: we're
yeah,
gonna lose.
what they're
We're
predicting. Yeah,
winning.
that's what I'm saying. Like everybody already knows what they're predicting anyway. We're playing one of the best teams I feel in the NFC, one of at least. But I want to ask y'all some. Unless y'all have anything else I want to comment about the team. Remember, this is y'all's show. If there's something y'all want to talk about, this is the time to bring it up. But I wanted to look around to the NFL and just kind of ask everybody who they feel are the best teams, the best team in the AFC and the NFC right now. And it doesn't have to be who you think will be in the Super Bowl, but right now, who are the best teams in the NFL? And are there any teams that you think are pretenders? So, for example,
Miami.
I'm not as sold on the Miami Dolphins as I feel like a lot of other people are. They have yet to beat a good team this year.
Over 500.
Yeah, that's even over 500. So that was wild to me. But who do y'all believe are the best two teams in or the best team in the AFC and the best team in the NFC? And give me who you feel is an overrated team right now. Whoever wants to jump on it, jump in there.
I tell you what, I think the 49ers are frauds. I think Steve Wilkes is a fraud. I don't think he makes defenses better whenever he calls plays. I said that whenever he was the head coach. I felt a lot of it was manure bullshit because when he became the head coach, the defense didn't get better. The offense did. I felt that's why we was winning games. And it feels like that over there in San Francisco. The defense is taking a significant step back from a scheme perspective significantly. So I think they're fraudulent. I think they're going against a good team in the Jaguars this weekend. And I think they got a real shot at losing that to lose their fourth straight game. And I'm going to be honest, I think the Eagles run away with the NFC because I just don't think the 49ers challenge them as much as people say. And nobody believes in the Cowboys.
I think it's the rematch, Kansas City and Eagles. I don't see any two teams that stand out really.
All right, so I reran the model with the week 9 data. It's all data up to week 9. So it has now the Ravens at 31% winner on Super Bowl. It has the Eagles as 14% for the loser. It has the Ravens at 13% loser. So I'll just do the winner, like top 6 down. Here's the winner Super Bowl percent-wise. Ravens 31%, 49ers 12, Eagles 8, Chiefs 7 or 8, round it. Cowboys 7, Jaguars 6. Loser Eagles 14%, Ravens 13%, 49ers 13%, Cowboys 9, Lions 9, Chiefs 7.
Damn,
that's what it has said.
So I mean, but the thing about that though is I don't feel like
on the Chiefs.
Well, but that's kind of my point, right? I mean, and I'm interested to use your site at some point, chats. But having the Kansas City Chiefs rated that low, I mean, again, I know they're one of the favorites according to your model, but I think that there's something to be said about a team that's been there before, that has won a championship. They've been contenders. The last 4 AFC championship games have gone through Arrowhead. Like Kansas City is one of that. Is that type of team that knows how to turn it on at the right time. Yeah. So to me, I would bump them up a little bit higher. Dude, the Ravens are looking like one of the best teams in all of football, man. Like they're
Lamar really, if he wins a ring this year, he's the only one I feel that has the resume to even come close to Patrick Mahomes and challenge him for the best quarterback in the NFL.
I'm going to give my 2. I think the Eagles for the NFC. And I think this one may surprise folks. I think the Baltimore Ravens for the AFC. I think the Baltimore Ravens are more talented overall as a team than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you
If
got the
you-
two top in my model there.
If you look at Kansas City, don't look at their run defense. Their run defense is really nasty, actually. I think it's like top 10.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
defense as a whole has been
That'd
amazing.
be a great game. The Ravens versus the Eagles. That'd be a real. I would actually enjoy watching that game.
Man, y'all sleeping on. You only say their name, and I'm surprised. But the
What?
Bengals, man, I'm telling you. Like
So
the
I'll give
Bengals,
you where
once
they
they
are.
get
Let's see.
Joe Burrow could really just like
They're down at the bottom
go
for
for
the
the
loser
playoffs.
record.
What's the Bengals record right now?
5-3.
They 5-3. Damn.
I got them with
I
a
was gonna
1%
say
chance of winning a
5-4.
Super Bowl, and I got them with a
Well, that
almost
division right now
1.8% chance of losing a Super Bowl.
There's like every team is like
I've
5
watched
and
the
3 except
Bengals.
for the Ravens.
Yeah, I've watched the Bengals play, and I'm just not impressed. They
I
seem
got
like
a
they're
better
missing
question. Well, not really better.
They got
but
Joe
like,
Burrow, man. They got
who's
Joe
the
Burrow,
who's
though.
the AFC
Well-
North team that doesn't make the playoffs?
You're a quarterback guy.
It's got to be the Browns. But
Commanders, are they AFC?
no, AFC
Steelers.
North. Which AFC
Oh.
North team doesn't make the playoffs?
Commanders are NFC.
I think it's the Browns.
Yeah, right now the Browns have one of the better defenses in all of football.
No, I think they don't make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, it just depends, man. Like they're one of those teams. It's
Watson
I know,
looked good
I know.
last-
Everybody hates Deshaun. If the dude can stay healthy, they
Well-
can make a run.
I'm just saying that division is like everyone's 5 and 3, and then the Ravens are like 6 and 2 or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, then the Steelers, like they have game changers like TJ Watt that's gonna make plays. You know what I mean? And like when you have those game changing players, they're never out of it, man. And it's a tough division. They always go back and forth. Yeah, that's probably the best division in football right now.
Yeah,
Huh?
It always has been.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, yeah, the three of them at least.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Pickle, who's the best team in the AFC and the NFC? And who's fraudulent?
I said the best team in the AFC was the Ravens. Who's a fraudulent would be the Lions.
Ugh.
And the NFC, the I forgot who the NFC. My top team was the Eagles. Are the Lions in the AFC or the NFC?
NFC.
NFC.
Okay, it's the Lions and the Bengals. I think the Bengals and Lions are both fraudulent. But the top teams are the Eagles and the Ravens.
Until Miami beats a 500 team, I have to call them fraudulent.
And that
Someone in
Eagles
chat said
Bengals
Dolphins.
Super Bowl, oh, it's gonna hit.
Oh, and look, can I be real with y'all? And again, I'm not trying to like bring this back to shit on Bryce, right? But like
Yeah,
the
you are.
comparison, and maybe the comparison that I've made, right, with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud is that this draft to me was very similar between Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert. Also, remember, Justin Herbert won the Offensive Rookie of the Year, big time arm talent, had some players around him, was able to do some big time things. And Tua did not start very well. But then everybody is pointing at Tua as to what Bryce can be one day if you put players around him. And everybody's pretending like Tua has proven to be like a great quarterback in the NFL. And don't get me wrong, there are times when he does play very well. But again, if you look at that team right now, is Tua Tagovailoa the type of quarterback?
He's got a noodle on.
Are they putting the Miami Dolphins? Is the quarterback play putting the Miami Dolphins over the edge? I would say no. And that's not great. And that's not great to me if you're telling me that that's the guy that I'm hoping that Bryce is going to become in 2 to 3 years.
Well, my model agrees with you. They're in 10th on win and loss for Super Bowl, so they're like way down there.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what sticks out in my mind is when we played them, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
remember that one in the beginning when we were winning for the first half And one of the issues that and I know it's one play, but completely open backfield. All he had to do was pitch the ball 5-7 feet off to the right to the runner, and he throws it way over his head or something like that. Do you remember that? That kind of stuff stands out. It's
Yeah.
How do you do that kind of shit? That's the simplest. You can't mess that up.
Yeah, I guess they found a way to. Yeah, man. That's I don't know. Man. I'm hoping that it's different for Bryce than it has been for Tua. Tua had a lot of concussions too. A lot of concussions, and I feel like Bryce is tougher than Tua. I mean, again, not an equivalent sample size, but dude, every time Bryce takes a hit, he jumps right back up. So no one can say he's tough as hell. I just feel like his passing attack has left wanting. I feel like there's receivers and he's not hitting them. But anyway, that's another time, another story. Who has not given their best teams in the AFC, NFC, and their fraud team? Go ahead, Deez.
Yeah, so let's go AFC. I'm gonna go Bengals, man. I remember that game last year against Joe Mixon. I hope he's not hurt. He could be. I don't keep up with the Bengals, but Joe Mixon, man, he lit us on fire. That's a good running back, and then they got 3 great wide receivers behind Joe Burrow. I wish the Panthers had that for Bryce Young. So let's go Bengals in the AFC. And in the NFC. I'm stay with the Dallas Cowboys. They were 4 yards from defeating the Eagles the other night. The Dallas Cowboys are still in this. I dread the game when they come into Bank of America Stadium. I hate to see the shots of the crowd and what's going to happen along that lines. I wonder if we have a new GM by then. I wonder if we have a new head coach by then. These things are looming quickly. There's a lot of national media pressure that we saw today coming down on the Panthers, man. It sucks with us being under the microscope and looking so bad on Thursday Night Football. That was just a lot of bad energy right there. But, a lot of the national media pundits said that Bryce Young just needs more time. So, Panthers fans just got to be patient. There's a litany of quarterbacks that's been listed that had these same struggles. And, the people that say that Bryce Young's a bust right now are the same people that didn't want him before the draft. And that's okay, man. It's your Panthers' opinion. It's football. It's just something we enjoy. If you don't like the guy, it's okay. My view on it, is we got about 3 years with Bryce Young, man. We got to get some talent around him. We got to win some football games. We got to get in position, and it's going to take a lot of changes to the Panthers. And we'll see what they do. Maybe it's the head coach. Maybe it's the GM. Maybe it's some lower level guy. They could fire the defensive line coach and try to satisfy the fans. It's something that could happen. But that's all I got, Cody. Man, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you,
Cody. Can I do my contenders and pretenders?
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for the AFC, the contenders are gonna be the Bengals, the Chiefs, and I think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. And the Dolphins, they're a good team, but they're pretenders. They can't beat a good team, And then the NFC, I'm gonna say shit. Who's in the NFC, bro? I don't know. The NFC. The NFC, I'm gonna say
we got
the Eagles.
Lions,
No, the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. No, it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles. The Eagles and the 49ers should be in the championship game, and I think the Eagles are gonna beat them again.
All right.
And then the rest of those teams are contenders in the NFC. The Lions and whoever else is.
Hey, did you see who the pretenders are? Someone that you just don't believe in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The pretenders, like the Dolphins and the Lions, they're pretenders.
All right, Dolphins and Lions. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens, they put a thumping on Detroit.
Nobody said a single thing. Nobody said either one of those about the Bills. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah, that's another point too, man. The Bills. They play to the level of competition.
The Bills are pretenders.
The
Bills are pretenders.
They barely beat the New York Giants. No, that's a great point, JJ.
Yeah, you're right, JJ. The Bills are pretenders. I forgot them.
JJ, did you give your AFC and NFC?
I'll touch up on it because I gave like half of it. So I think the Eagles come out. I think the 49ers are super fraudulent, like first round exit fraudulent. They may not get their shit together this season fraudulent. I think they big old frauds. And I think the Bengals and the Ravens, of course, I think those are the two best teams in the AFC, honestly. I think those are the two most complete teams. They got the best schemes and talent across the board. And I think the Chiefs are the team that a lot of people mention as competitors because they put that respect on that name. But I think they could be a little fraudulent. Like last year, and I thought this all off season. Last year, all their games were really like they were all ball games that they really could have lost. They were a few plays away from losing if you think about it. So I think they could. This could be the year. There's no AFC Championship in Arrowhead. So
they got the one. They have the
so.
secret weapon in Taylor Swift.
Oh, damn it. How dare you?
Well,
Cody, Cody, let me say this for.
Go ahead.
My bad, bro. Go ahead.
No, I was you. You go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this just real quick, 10 seconds. I was gonna say that I think the Dolphins, they're pretenders, but if they get that shit together, bro, they can win the Super Bowl for sure, for sure.
They're all finesse. Keep it a buck. They're not winning. But if it is a rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs, that makes it the Swift Bowl between DeAndre Swift.
I hope for that reason alone we don't have that. I mean, I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes' brothers anymore. You guys want to see him on there in spotlight anyway. But also, they've won a couple. You're good. You're good. You're good. Your career's fine. Don't worry about it anymore, Mahomes. You take the next 5 years off and just kind of brag about what you accomplish and let some other teams win.
I got in a big old argument with Pickle and Twan about Mahomes being the GOAT already. So that would help the agenda if he won another. That would big old help the agenda.
I mean, right now,
he's not the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Well, GOAT stands for greatest of all time. How about this?
In NFL, it's hard to do that.
I think he's currently the best active player in all of football.
But the thing is, hold on. I look at it like this. If tomorrow we got a breaking news that Patrick Mahomes retired, I think we would all agree that Patrick Mahomes had the best 5.5-year stretch of playing football.
Oh, yeah.
Of any quarterback ever?
And
of
I
any
think,
quarterback ever.
No, if you ever heard about Tom Brady before. I don't know if you ever heard of Tom Brady before.
You ain't watching football to make that statement.
Hold on. So listen, even if he's not, time out. Let me defend JJ. Even if he's not number one, he's definitely up there.
Yeah,
like, he's in that. Dude, he's in the conversation with a Marino, a Brady, a Roethlisberger. Like he's won a
better than Drew Brees. Like, come on, guys, be real. He's better than fucking Drew Brees.
He was 4 years of AFC Championship game, 2 Super Bowls in like 4 years.
Drew Brees was always overrated.
Well, hold on. Before we go into that, I want to ask y'all this. I want to ask y'all this, right? So I feel like now that the Panthers are out of it, every year I end up finding a team to kind of cheer for, even though I'm not a fan of that team. Kristen Ledane in the chat, she says, I think Cody would love to see Jaguars go all the way with this Clemson quarterback. And Kristen, you are right about that. And that brings me to my next question. And we're going to finish the show out on this. I want to hear from everyone. What other team, I mean, obviously, since it's not the Panthers, what team do you want to go all the way to win a championship this year?
Lions.
All right, White Chocolate says Lions. Nigel, you still in here, bro?
Yep.
Man.
I said the Lions for sure, man.
Lions.
Oh.
All right, dope. Hey, Nigel, did you tell me who your AFC and NFC team were?
Oh, no. But my AFC team is definitely the Ravens. You know, they're talented, real talented. Yeah. And for the NFC, it's the Eagles, and the fraud for the AFC, it's probably the Dolphins because they've yet to beat a team over 500. And
right.
probably the 49ers for the NFC. But
Yeah. No, that's a good list. That's a great list, man. Hey, one of the reasons I'm pulling for the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. That's like a brother team. Bro, look at this strange ass man I haven't seen in 10 years or some shit. Nick Montero in the building. What's up, dude?
Well, what's up, dude?
Hey, you're muted. You're muted, man. You're muted. I can't even hear you.
Oh, my bad. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's up, brother?
Good, bro.
What's
Dude.
up, dude? How you been, man? How are you depressed like everybody else when it comes to these Panthers?
Yeah, dude. Especially after that game on Sunday. Whenever I drove my ass all the way down there to see that shit show, bro. Like, I wish I had just stayed in Massachusetts for that one. Like, Jesus.
I left the third quarter.
Hey, you remember how Drew used to say you were the jinx?
I hate. Listen, all right. I gotta say this, man. I love my boy Josh. Y'all know that, okay?
Yeah.
But he wasn't there at that Lions game, and I was. So
Josh is the jinx. Josh is the one fucking things up for everyone. All right.
no, honestly,
you might
man, it's not that. It's look at how we've looked whenever I haven't even been there this season, bro. Like,
yeah.
we've looked like straight ass.
We looked
I bet
worse.
$1,000 that we wouldn't get 12 wins, and I'm still waiting for that dude to pay up.
Yeah, you might never see that money, bro.
I'm not planning on it.
No, you're never seeing that money, dude. That's good going. Now happy to have you in, Nate. Hey, who do you think are the best teams in the NFL right now? Give me one in the AFC, one in the NFC, and I've been asking who's the pretender, but what other team are you cheering for this year? So best AFC team, best NFC team, and if you had to pick one that you want to see go all the way, who would it be?
I want to. So I'm thinking that the real teams out there, it's got to be the Eagles, and I'm sorry, the Dolphins. When the Dolphins have their shit together, they're putting up some crazy points. So,
all right.
Like, they have their moments where they show their weaknesses, but it's not like the Bills. You know, they've looked better than the Bills all year. So, and as far as who I'm going for,
except for when the Bills
shit, let's see Cincy do it again. Let's see them get back in there and actually get it.
I love that everybody's picking cat teams.
As long as if it's not the Chiefs.
Yeah, tired of the Chiefs. No, I hear you. I do. It doesn't surprise me if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again, though.
I'm surprised if they win it all.
They know how to win in December and January.
Yeah, you know, my model last year, I ran it, and I remember in November I ran it, and they were at the tippy top of that thing. And at that point, it was Eagles and Chiefs at their very top on that, and it ended up being the case. So I'm fairly confident that they might progress through the playoffs, but I don't think they get all the way there.
Okay. I hear you. I mean, they definitely don't have the firepower that they did in years past.
They don't look as
No.
interesting as they have in the past.
No,
They don't
they're
look like
not
they had
as
the fire.
If Kansas
But
City
they
gets
need
to the
they really do need another wide receiver. Go ahead, Big.
They have a defense.
if Kansas City gets in a Super Bowl, you know who's singing the Super Bowl, don't you?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, boy.
Britney Spears.
I'm done with that shit. That needs to end.
They already said that she doesn't want to do the Super Bowl.
Well, I wish she did.
That's just what she's saying. I'm sure.
The
if they
Chiefs
got
should have traded for Mike Evans.
To be honest with you, Taylor Swift is overrated, and
Oh, wait, come on, bro.
And how many times?
I'm so tired of hearing that.
Listen, I gotta throw this one out there. How many times has your girls told you that she's not hungry, yet you come home with food and she's always stealing your French fries?
Oh yeah.
Okay?
dude.
So yeah, she can say that she doesn't want to do it, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
She's overrated in musical talent and looks. Like, she's not even all that hot, bro. She's just like a normal looking chick.
And I'm not even, bro. I love to hear a woman sing, bro. Like I love Adele, some of her shit, bro. Taylor Swift does nothing for me, man. Nothing at all.
Yeah, for real.
And bro, if I was famous, like really famous, I couldn't even say that because her fucking fans would chase you to the ends of the earth.
It's no different from what you do now, Bryce Young.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, man. Yeah, I don't know who's worse, the youngins or the Swifties. Dude.
Shit.
I got the answer. It's G Baby.
yeah, 100%. Dude, he's worse.
I would hit Adele before I hit Taylor Swift. I'll tell you that straight up. I'm
Dude,
dead ass serious.
he's probably a Taylor Swift fan and Bryce Young fan.
Yeah, G Baby ain't as bad as some other folks are out there.
I do want to clarify something.
Except whenever it comes to players that he wants in Dynasty.
That's all.
I don't know how any of y'all trade with him.
I've been beating people since we started it. I've been beating people off my wide receiver. They just need to leave me the hell alone. I ain't giving him up for nothing.
Who's winning y'all's league, Cody?
Come on.
And what's the
Come on, man.
Up.
You know,
Shut the hell up, Pickle.
it ain't Cody. I know that much.
Yeah, you notice how that's everyone's first answer? Instead of saying who's actually winning, just to shit on me. Hey, thanks, boys. I couldn't even tell you who's winning.
I'll tell you. Kevin's winning it so far, but G Baby was ahead for a good while of it.
Can I get an invite to that?
G Baby's doing this thing. Okay.
I'm scoring the most points.
Shit, next year you might be able to have my fucking account, Strat. Shit.
It's a dynasty league.
I had the most first round picks, so I'll take it.
I do want to add one clarification. Oh, go ahead.
I got Dog's first round pick, which might be the first or second pick overall.
Yo, Cody.
Let me have it, Kev. I'll give you all my players for it. No.
I offered you picks for Hopkins.
No, I don't want just bullshit picks. I need a first round pick.
You're not getting a first round pick for fucking Hopkins.
I'm second place.
Fuck you then.
I'm second place in two of my $1,000 leagues, bro. I'm doing pretty good. I'm killing the waiver wire. That's where I'm winning at, the waiver wire.
Oh, shit. Yep. But yeah, next year we're trying to do like an official C3 fantasy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're losing?
Let me get up in there.
Because you're losing, and that's when you have to do a new official one. Is that what it is?
Shut the fuck up, stupid. All right.
Just like the Gamecocks losing.
Yeah, that's right.
Won more games than Cody.
Nah, Cody just butthurt because he's not the commissioner in that league.
Hey, Kevin.
I'm not the commissioner in any of them.
Kevin, the Panthers have won more games than Cody's won in fantasy.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. All right, show's over.
Well, can I add one thing? I want to clarify one little bit. Unless it was the Panthers, I despise seeing the same teams in the same playoffs and I get why it happens because of we all know why it happens. But in my perfect world, I would love to see the remaining teams that do not have Super Bowl wins at least playing in a Super Bowl. And so the Chargers are way down on this list. But I would think seeing something like the Chargers in there would be nice to see. I don't know if the Jags have one, but it would be nice to see that too. But I did say earlier Ravens and Eagles were at the top of my model, and I said out loud that it would be interesting to see. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, oh, I really like these teams, I want to see them play. No, the quarterbacks are kind of stepping in the feet of Cam and other like him before. So in that case, that's why I thought Ravens and Eagles would be interesting, just for those two quarterbacks alone facing off against each other. I thought that would be cool.
No, that would be dope.
Cody,
the Ravens and the Eagles, that would be an awesome.
Tell the
I watched that game
for this year.
Are we doing what?
Are we still going to tell our teams that we're rooting for because the Panthers suck?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. I tell you what, I do have a quick hot take, real quick. I think that Jaguars team that you'd be rooting for, I think it runs through Travis Etienne in the run game more than Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not even disagreeing with you. Travis Etienne is the man, dude.
Yeah, I think he's the
one and done.
Yeah, Cody, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins, bro. I want to see the Dolphins win. The Dolphins win the Super Bowl down here in Miami will fucking be on fire, bro. These
Nah, that's not
motherfucking Cubans will go.
by the way.
Motherfucking Cubans will go crazy.
Yo,
They fucking start smacking pots and pans and shit. Clank, 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 clank. That's how you would hear it through the whole fucking South Florida.
Yeah, I was about to say you're in Florida, so that would be
Yeah.
yeah, for
I
sure.
think the team I'll be rooting for since the Panthers stink this year is
See, that's the thing, man. Like, it's good to root for the team where you live at. Like, again, once I finally fell in love with the Panthers, it felt good that I was like, my team is the team where I live. I think at a certain point you can root for your team that where you live at. I feel like that's a good thing to be able to do, man, because it helps the community, man. It helps the businesses. Everybody's feeling better. There's a buzz around the city, bro. I'll never forget living here in Uptown Charlotte in 2015, bro. This
Nuts.
city just felt different, man. It felt like you've never felt before, dude. Everyone was so pumped. Yeah, man. It's just we need more of that here, man.
Cody,
When Miami won their
fans not to wear their jerseys anymore when they come to our games.
Yeah.
when Miami won their first championship, the Heat down in fucking Rome, man, and you'll be at the stadium. We was at the stadium, and Shaq's over there saying, "Can you dig it?" And then they're playing Bob Marley. Everybody's all happy. Everybody's fucking high as shit, and that shit was so fun, bro. And it was just all love. That shit was cool as shit.
It was cold as hell. We had the cars running. People were grilling out. They had golf carts going back and forth at the stadium. Man, that was such a good time.
Where was this at?
In Uptown Charlotte during 2015.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The playoff
Hey, man,
run.
also,
Oh, my God.
shout out to David Screws. He says, is a riot really happening? at the
Hell
bank
yeah.
today?
Yeah.
I don't know about a riot. Rashad and them
We're
are
going to the
calling
bank
for-
and we're going to shit in the fucking parking lot.
They're
Everyone.
calling. They're
You
calling
better
for.
bring midget wrestlers, Kevin.
Yeah, midget. Dude, they're calling for a peaceful protest, but yeah, apparently they're marching.
Why those
on
ever
it.
work out?
And by the way, like I said earlier, and if y'all wanted to finish that off and make another comment, you're allowed to. But I don't necessarily know what it accomplishes other than putting the Panthers fans on TV. I mean, are you getting Frank Reich fired? Are you getting Fitterer fired? Are you getting David Tepper to sell the team? Like, I don't necessarily know what the end goal is. And
I think it makes the fans feel better, but I really don't think it really does much.
All
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, and this is
They just want their voices to be heard. That's it.
all
No,
I'm gonna say
It's
is
not gonna.
this might
It's
be
not
a
gonna do
stupid way to
nothing.
look at it, but like, listen, would you want someone rioting for you to lose your job? Probably not. So like,
no.
and plus, like, these are all decisions that we don't have any control over. We just have to live with the consequences of them. It sucks, but that's the part of being fans and not being on the payroll. So like, rioting and potentially putting yourself in a potential spot where you could be in legal trouble, like, is it really worth it? And to me, the answer is always no.
I
Not
wish
for a
someone would
118.
ask my
They
boss
love
to
that
fire
shit.
me. I really do wish somebody would ask my boss to fire me. I can live on unemployment for a while.
So what's the number? Where you
Yo,
work?
Cody, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care if people
I
call
work in
me
the
a
Rob
bad
Lynn
Panthers
company.
fan. The team
You don't
I'm
care
rooting
what?
for, I don't care if people call me a bad Panthers fan. The team I'm low key rooting for to do good in the playoffs this year, if they get there, is the Texans. I just want to see Stroud be great.
I hear you, JJ.
And
Hey,
hope you
you're
crash it
allowed.
down,
Point,
man.
dude.
But
Yeah,
also,
no,
you're allowed. But hold on, JJ. Like, just like I want to see Trevor Lawrence get a championship and do well. That's my final say.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
you
that was
want
a
to
great
see
finish.
Stroud do well. And by the way, credit to CJ. CJ has broken the stigma of the Ohio State quarterback. Like there used to be, there used to be this,
Thank
there used to be
God.
this thing that Ohio State quarterbacks they never do shit in the NFL. Well, somebody forgot to tell CJ Stroud.
That's all I heard during the draft. You don't want Stroud. Ohio State quarterbacks suck in the NFL.
And and to be real,
Where the
JJ, the
hell you
fact
at
that
now?
I actually do really like that Trevor and JJ are division rivals now. They're in the same division. They have to play each other twice a year. That's
Yeah.
dope.
I want to say this real quick. To me, there was
He's just
one
better, in my
one
opinion.
quarterback
Man, shut up, JJ.
that's floated around for various teams. I always thought wasn't treated right, and he had loads of talent. And I think the other day he
Minshew.
proved it when he came in and literally one day he started. He didn't even know who his teammates' names was, but Joshua Dobbs, the Tennessee boy, proved to everybody he should be a starter.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah. No, I'm just
The rocket scientist.
Everybody loves Joshua Dobbs because he looks like an astronaut with his bald-headed ass.
He's a rocket scientist. He's a legit rocket scientist.
He really is. He really is.
He is. D's, you have a team that you're pulling for now that the Panthers are certainly eliminated.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of corny and cliche, but I watched all the Hard Knocks with the Jets for this year, and then I got to see them down in training camp as well. So I was kind of pulling for Aaron Rodgers to make this like miraculous recovery from his injury and come back and somehow win for the Jets because they've been bad for so long. So I guess that's the team I was pulling for just because I've seen so much of them in prime time and all the coverage they had around the Jets this year. Zach Wilson, he's close, man. He's close. He had a really good game, and then he had like a so-so game, and it's just like if they could put things together, they could at least be 500 or better, or maybe have a shot at the playoffs for Aaron Rodgers to come back. Like they had some tape of him saying, Aaron Rodgers saying, "Just give me a couple weeks, just give me a couple weeks," and that's crazy for him to come back from that injury so far. But it's got me kind of captivated. So I guess that's who I'm secretly pulling for is to see the Jets actually do something. Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, do you think that Aaron Rodgers will come back this season? Like everybody's saying that it's a real possibility that he could.
He's probably in Europe taking that zero
playoffs.
But yeah, that's a great point. If they do make the playoffs, yeah, bring him back, man. Could you imagine what type of story that would be? Aaron Rodgers comes back from an ACL to lead the Jets to a Super Bowl victory. Dude, that would be a pretty wild story. I'm not, dude. I mean, now I'm into the story. Like I just
right
the story.
I think
that's me. Like it.
I mean,
there's been a lot of.
Do you remember the year they filmed us for that Netflix or not Netflix, that show on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, what's it called?
And it all blew up.
All or
Actually,
nothing.
ironically,
Yeah,
it blew
all
up
or
when
nothing.
Gano made a record-tying field goal to beat the Giants, and then continued to miss the easy ones that cost us some games. Tony would say opposite, but throughout the end of the season. But yeah, I feel like the camera kind of changes the dynamic a little bit. With that being said, I would love to watch Mahomes. You should put him on the next season, next year, so that curse.
Well, now Hard Knocks, they have the in-season version of Hard Knocks, and the Miami Dolphins are on it. I don't know when that starts, but yeah, that's about to come out soon. Pickle, did you have a team that you wanted to pull forward this year now that the Panthers are done?
Not really. I just have a few players. I'm pulling for Joshua Dobbs. I live in Tennessee. I'm curious to see how far the Titans can go under Levis, just for the heck of it. But I really don't have a particular team.
The Panthers are whooping the Titans' ass when we play them. I'm going to that game.
Yeah.
We better win.
I hope you're right, but I seriously doubt it.
Dude,
I don't think
if Will Levis throws for 300 yards, dude, y'all might not see it.
No, it's going to be Derrick Henry rushing for 200.
If the Carolina Panthers played the West Virginia Mountaineers, I think they would get their ass whooped. I think the Panthers are that bad.
It turns out it was nothing.
But by the way, and just to show you where we are as a fan base, Nigel, you're not gonna like these numbers, bro. We put a poll in the chat. Should the Panthers bench Bryce Young? with 154 votes. It's 52% yes to 47% no. So damn, man.
I voted no on that one, by the way.
Makes
Cody,
no sense.
Cody, I got to shout out Red, White, and Bills in the
Mhm.
chat because I have to say, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
nice
he's
to
been
see
awesome all
McDermott
night.
and Bean get a ring. I have to tell you, that would be cool. Because honestly, my friend, you need to understand something. Several of us older Panther fans think them two should have stayed here, and you
Oh
could have
yeah.
got Ernie and
Oh
Rivera.
yeah. And listen, Brandon Bean went out the door, and then the very
worst thing
next
happened
year,
to this
and then the very next year, the Panthers fired Dave Gettleman.
That's right.
So we literally could have had Brandon Bean while he was sitting in our front office. And by the way, I'm gonna be real. A lot of Panther fans see a lot of Cam Newton and Josh Allen. That team is in many ways built like and very similar to the 2015 Carolina Panthers. So, and shout out to Red, White, and Bills. They've been great the entire time, man. And yeah, I would love to see the Buffalo Bills, dude. Especially knowing what happened to them in the 90s.
Right.
By the way, I was born in 1990. That was the first year that the Bills went to the Super Bowl, and then those next 4 years
it's
in a
your
row.
fault.
Yeah, those next 4 years in a row, they lost 4 times in a row in the Super Bowl.
Shout out
That's
this question here. If hypothetically, if that happens, if McDermott and Bean get a ring with the Bills, do the Bills ever fire Brandon or Sean McDermott? Ever? I think he retires with them. I don't never see them firing him.
If what? If they win a Super Bowl?
well, I remember hearing rumors that if they didn't do well in the playoffs for like a third or fourth year in a row, they might even consider moving on from McDermott. But to me, that's
McDermott, come home, brother. Come home.
yeah, I'm down for it.
I mean,
I'm
look
down for it.
what the Eagles did with Peterson after winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Is there any more? Would anyone else like to tell what team they're pulling for? Anyone else? Any more takers?
I know we already talked about it, but the nine. I would have been cool to see CMC and Wilkes get a ring just to rub it in Tepper's face.
Oh, 100%. And by the way, I'd be happy for McCaffrey, dude. I would be fucking so happy for Christian.
Debo.
No.
Nah,
Yo,
fuck
did
Debo,
anyone
bro.
else think that shit was just like absolutely crazy that Jim Irsay was dancing all over us?
He was coked out of his mind.
No, that dude's on every drug.
He mentally unstable anyway.
He
Dude,
did a line and started
everyone
dancing.
dances on us, man. That's who we
Bro,
are now.
Do you know how ridiculous it is that you were dancing after a game against us? We suck. Why the fuck are you celebrating that?
We've
Yeah, but
always
we
been
can't be
people
mad.
get right game.
We can't be mad. I'm sorry, 2015, in case you forgot how many times we did the same damn thing to every opponent we took on. We danced, we dabbed, we
Humbleness
humiliated.
goes a long way.
While the game was still on, our stars were out there taking pictures. People said that's disrespectful. Cam Newton's response is, and I love him, but Cam Newton's response is, if you don't
He
like
did the
it,
Hulk
stop
Hogan.
us.
You remember he did the Hulk Hogan that one game?
He did.
Yeah,
I do. That's what I said. I can't be mad when somebody does something like that to us. I just can't. I always thought that was disrespectful. But Cam Newton in the 2015 Panthers,
No, obviously
thought
I'm
it was
not like
acceptable.
butthurt.
To be honest, I think that's one of the reasons why we lost that year in the Super Bowl. I think it was the humbleness should have stayed with you until you win that fucking last
But
game.
I agree, Seth, 100%.
It's just crazy how Jim Irsay this past offseason, the narrative is he is like the worst. Now that Dan Snyder was gone, he's the worst owner in the league, and it's just like he completely fixed the Colts situation after firing Frank Reich, and now we're stuck with Frank Reich and like a way worse situation. It goes to show like David Tepper is just so fucking incompetent. It's unimaginable.
Yeah.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Oh, 100, dude, trust me.
Yeah, we all feel it.
Who
That's why we're depressed.
Yeah, who doesn't get why David Tepper is an embarrassment? But hey, man, look, it's 10:09. I appreciate y'all for being here, boys, on another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All. I normally do final words, but I feel like we've all given our final words like 15 different times already, man. So we appreciate y'all for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Download PrizePicks. Use the promo code C3. They will match any deposit that you make up to $100 if you use our promo code. We appreciate y'all. Panther Nation, we don't know when things will get better, but it will get better, baby. You just gotta believe. And until then, hey, what's the motto, y'all?
Keep trying.
That like button.
Bryce Young's the best.
Fuck pickle. That's the
Keep pounding, baby.
Keep
Mike,
pounding.
give me your money.
Let's keep pounding.
Bryce Young's the bud.